Jesus Christ, you people suck.
Wow.
Wolverine wanted to be just...
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady.
But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
Alright, it's time! Another week of N4G Radio. This is episode 724. I misnumbered it last week, by the way, because I accidentally put the wrong number in a show on the site, but who the fuck cares? Nobody said anything. 724, November 21st, 2022. Thanksgiving week. And on the show this week, we have the Wombat.
Yeah, you do.
We got Anthony.
Steaks were made.
And we got Terrence.
And I'm here too.
Bom, bom, bom.
Fuck, I forgot. God damn it. We'll talk about it in the news, but I had, you know what? Nah, disappointing with my intro there.
Oh, shit. I don't even know what's happening right now. But okay.
There will be jokes in part of the news segment, I am sure.
Oh, I have no doubts. I'm assuming it has to do with going fast,
It does indeed.
but
Are you
first we're
curious too?
gonna,
Or just no. That's episode another joke, but that
Follow
was
me,
a horrible
set me
game.
free.
But go ahead.
Just you and me will escape from this prison.
it's my own
Nice.
prison, but that's another joke.
What if?
We'll talk about
We need to make a Sonic Creed crossover.
Huh? Don't have to collect no goddamn rings. Oh, video games. Let's talk about those. Let's kick it off with Anthony. What's up?
I wasn't here to talk about Sonic last week.
I know I didn't get to talk much because I've only made it to the first area. So
I'm gonna say about 50% of the way through that game. Hey, if you've been looking for Sonic Adventure 3, abandon all hope. Sonic Adventure games weren't very good. I'm just gonna say that now. The Sonic segments in Adventure 2 are good. The story is okay in Sonic Adventure 2. But do you really want to look for emeralds? Do you really want to shoot things in shitty mech segments? They're fine moments.
Fly
but
around and dig with Knuckles to that rap
that
music.
game.
I just wanted to be
one of
Shadow.
the rappers on that. But the Sonic stages are like shadows. The speed stages, if we're gonna call them something, those are good. The rest of that game isn't. You could cut the rest of those segments down, and that game would be a lot better if you just had more standard speed levels. Sonic Adventure 1 is, I'm sorry, not a good game. If I have to watch that fucking whale one more time, go through. I get it. It was cool when it happened the first time.
Well, they brought him back.
Dreamcast. Oh man,
They brought him back in Sonic 06.
They brought him back in Sonic 06. They brought him back in Sonic Generations.
He's a
I'm
fucking
pretty
whale,
sure he's
man.
in some of the racing games too. It's not interesting to watch. I get it. Whale.
Get out of with
So
your
anyways,
heart.
Okay, so I know too much about Sonic for a normal person. Normal being relative to Sonic fans.
I was waiting on that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't have a Sonic original character because I'm not that fucking weird.
You don't have a Sonic persona?
Or 6. I don't think they're called personas.
They should be.
that's a thing.
You didn't know what
a persona?
Yeah,
okay.
persona.
Oh no, persona is like
Well, no,
I'm
not
a
that,
person-
but like the Sonic thing. Like people have a
Yeah.
Sonic. You said you don't have a Sonic
Terrence,
character.
Yeah,
Terrence, go to Google Images.
No,
and type in
don't.
Terrence
Don't.
the Hedgehog.
Don't.
Terrence
my
the
God.
Hedgehog.
I want you.
Okay.
So,
And
I
there you
know
go.
we've talked
Look
about
at all
it
those DeviantArt drawings of people
as
making
Sonic characters, but I want
Terrence. So
Wow.
I'm not that. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is that, like, can you really tell me any, like, follow-through story that of, like, how the fuck did we get to Adventure from the original Sonic series?
all I can
Right?
think of is the episodes of Game Gross where they read the fan fiction, the sexual fan fiction, where Sonic is with like
I
Peach
don't-
and Daisy and
I don't-
Samus.
I remember that.
I don't know what the fuck is going
There you
on,
go.
and I don't want to read that stuff.
Google Sonic fan
I'm good.
fiction.
I'm good.
Lil Sonic.
Good.
Lil
I'm
Sonic.
If it's not a parody of Little Man Tate where Sonic is in Tate, I'm not interested. Okay, so the reason why I bring that up though is that, like, really, Sonic stories don't have much of a connection. Like, yeah, 1, 2, and 3, for the very little story they have, blend in, and Knuckles, kind of blend into one story. Sonic CD really doesn't fit in there. Sonic Adventure just kind of starts a new thing. And I guess we kind of follow through with that in Sonic Adventure 2, even though they don't really feel connected. And there's been references to stuff. Sonic Frontiers directly references Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, and like every other Sonic game, because Ian Flynn, the guy who writes the current IDW comics, is the writer of Sonic Frontiers. And it's weird to start off with that, but he's writing a serious Sonic story that isn't Sonic 06, which means bad, because Sonic 06 was like, let's take this in a serious direction, and it's fucking awful. It's melodramatic anime nonsense. It's so fucking bad. Sonic kisses a human princess girl, but and you as a player have to witness that, only for the end of the game to like rewind time so that never happened. But you watched it.
Oh, I watched it.
And you'll never
Sonic-
forget.
Sonic
I didn't
can't
watch it, so.
Sonic can't unkiss that girl in your mind, but apparently he can unkiss that girl in that game.
He does
So-
give her the bedroom.
You know
eyes,
what's
too.
wild? I feel like I know where you're headed talking about Sonic Frontiers, and it sounds like what you're about to say is going to disappoint me because it's what actually was drawing me to this game. But go ahead, because I'm sitting here at the edge of my seat waiting, because I feel like
What,
Oh,
what
man.
do you
Go
what do you
ahead.
think I'm saying? Because I have no
Well, I
idea
think-
what the fuck you're talking about.
oh, wow. Okay. Well, damn. But did I just say a bunch of random stuff? No, I'm
No.
saying, well, okay. So I was interested in Sonic because you were talking about the different stories not being connected and stuff and different whatever. I was interested in Sonic Frontiers because it looked like it actually had a story. Because I never, unlike you, who apparently is the Sonic master, I've played a bunch of Sonic games, but I never like followed all of, whatever, because none of it ever was connected. Like there never
So-
was a real like story. I knew Sonic was fighting Dr. Robotnik. That was it.
So
You know what I
Sonic,
mean?
so Sonic in this game, what's smart about it is like, okay, so, oh god, I'm sorry everybody that's listening that doesn't want to hear Sonic shit. So like, it goes back to like original Sonic stuff. When like it actually shows you a screenshot from Sonic 3 where Sonic and Knuckles first meet. Like it flashes on screen when you talk to Knuckles in this game.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
it
I've
talks
seen that.
about-
I played that.
So Ian Flynn is really good at like he's under certain rules from Sonic, like Sonic Team and Sega, and there's a reason why, because the Archie writer Ken Penders, please look him up and watch the documentaries on him. He is a fascinating individual and not in a good way. If you like train wrecks, Ken Penders. So Ian Flynn is really good at referencing and knowing what fans like. So in this story, it is clearly setting itself up to be the sequel that people have sort of wanted from Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. It's a big open world game, but the story directly references the events in both of those titles. But the story in this game isn't surrounding those games. Like, it's not like they are references to things that have happened. It's not even necessarily like, do you remember that? No. It's like, this has happened. Sonic remembers that because he's a character, and this is another story in Sonic's life. And what's really interesting is that, so this is the same cast who did Sonic Boom, and Sonic Boom is actually a really good television show. It's funny. This game is not funny, and it's done, like, Amy, the characterization of Amy has been terrible because she was boy crazy and loved Sonic, and that was kind of the end of her characterization. In fact, I'd argue that somebody saw Harley Quinn in the Batman animated show, because Amy has a hammer too, and was like, I'm going to make one for Sonic. I'm going to turn the girl from Sonic CD into Harley Quinn. And that's not the characterization in this game. Knuckles is headstrong, but like, they show the rivalry still. Even the writing for Eggman is so well done, Robotnik, whatever you want to call him. They actually explain that in this game too. And the reason why I'm starting off with that part of this game is just like, I'm so impressed with how well done this game is, because I'm going to tell you right now, the worst part of almost every Sonic game that's had a story is the fucking story. It is, not including Sonic 06, maybe including Sonic 06, that game is bad, and the story's bad, and I can't tell you which part is worse.
Hold on, because this took a turn. This didn't go where I thought it was going to go. So you actually like the story in Sonic Frontiers?
Oh my god, yes.
You took the long way around to say that, man. I'm sitting here on the edge of my seat about to fall out, waiting for you to tell me. Okay, go ahead. Tell me how good it is.
So the reason why, though, is like, you have to understand, like, I've dealt with 20 years of bad stories for Sonic games. Like, I can't tell you how many Sonic games there are that have just this god-awful, like, forced-in story. I don't give a shit. Sonic, go fast. That's all I need. And, of course, this is the first time they've done an open-world game. And I'm going to tell you right now, the open-world game sections, fantastic. Oh, fuck it, I like the open world. I like the fact that there's mini-bosses that feel like boss fights, but each of them use like different aspects of Sonic. Like, one boss is fought using grinding. The other one is using the running system that's like from Sonic Colors, where you kind of like dash like in between like 3 pathways to dodge shots and stuff. Some of them use like his homing attack, or some of them are just straight up fights. But like, it's so brilliant. The worst part about the open world is that there's the draw distance on the terrain is like, you can see the map shape, like you can see the world the whole time. But the draw distance on the objects that Sonic can interact with is so fucking low. It doesn't, even when you're going fast, it's never like, oh my god, something popped in and stopped me from running. It's just like short enough where like you're gonna see poppin', and I don't fully understand why.
What system are you on? You on PC?
I'm on Xbox One. It doesn't matter. The draw distance on these objects is low on every system.
Oh, okay.
I don't, again, know why. The game is very pretty looking. That's a aesthetic complaint and partially a game complaint, the draw distance, but otherwise the game looks fantastic. Then there's these sections that you go into, the digital dimension is what some people will call it. Cyberspace is what they call the levels, but digital dimension is that's a weird pull from Sonic Riders of all things, which is a great racing game. Fucking, again, not a great story, but whatever. Physics change, and these are the levels that are like recreations of old Sonic levels, and they're fine. And those are the ones where it's got to go fast, and you're kind of just going from one point to another. But my issue is that the physics change in those levels for some fucking reason, and I don't know why. And I'd argue not for the better. Sometimes Sonic is magnetized to certain platforms that are spinning, and I'm assuming it was like to help players, but it doesn't. It actually is like counterproductive. They're honestly my least favorite part of this game is going into the cyberspace levels, and you have to do it to earn enough keys to unlock Chaos Emeralds in the open world. So that's the sort of the main portions. But like to move the story along, the open world requires you to do small tasks. So, beating bosses will get you, or beating mini bosses will get you gears. The gears open the cyberspace levels. The cyberspace levels give you keys to unlock Chaos Emeralds from these like big vault things. And every time you enter a new map, the Chaos Emeralds get taken from you, and you have to go get them back. So, how do you move the story along, though? Well, there's a bunch of like even smaller tasks in the world, like sometimes just like figuring out where to grind, just doing stunts, whatever. And those give you little objects that are different for each map. The first one is medals, heart medals, I think, or something like that. And the heart medals allow you to unlock conversations with Amy. And Amy is the character that you're talking to in the first map. Knuckles is the second, and you're collecting war medals. And you have to do it. You have to have enough to talk to her. So, like, she's kind of stuck between cyberspace and the real world. So every time you talk to her, you have to give over some. So, you need 20. So you have to make sure you have 20. I do enough running around that I just kind of collect these medals at random, so I have enough generally to unlock the next part of the conversation. And sometimes they'll give you little mini games to play that unlock an extra Chaos Emerald or whatever. And if you're not a fan of open world games or Sonic, I don't see you enjoying this game. But if you're a fan of Sonic, I can totally see you enjoying this game. And if you're a fan of open worlds, this is kind of a different take on it. It's definitely inspired by Breath of the Wild, even down to the aesthetics. But the fast travel system is really smart. Until you unlock the whole map, the fast travel, and I think Ken talked about this, you do a little mini game. Sometimes it's just dodging left and right to step on the lighted panel. Because there's like 3 panels, and you're just kind of having to move Sonic onto the lighted panel. And then once you're finished that, it unlocks a grind rail, and those grind rails connect to one another across the map. And so you unlock the map that way. That's how you actually unlock more parts of the map. I really love that aspect of it. And then once you're done the map, you can fast travel between all the cyberspace entrances. There's always a weird cyberspace level, though, where you go fishing with Big the Cat. And there's these lo-fi, like, trip-hop beats playing in the background. The fishing game, it's really mediocre. Like, it's not very hard. It's just a timing exercise. There's no real fishing involved. You throw the lure in, a fish bites it, and then you hit A, you hit X or whatever, and then the fish is now hooked. And then how to catch it is like a red ring appears around where the fish is, and then a white ring spreads out from where the fish is, and you just have to time it so the white ring falls in the red ring. And then Sonic just pulls the fish out of the water, and then you get, I don't remember what is it, some sort of another currency that you can trade to Big, and Big will give you things in return for the open world. You need purple coins that you can find in the open world to trade to Big to fish. There's a lot of currencies in this game, don't ask me why. There's like a weird currency to upgrade Sonic. Oh, did I say 1 currency? I meant there's fucking 3. There you collect Cocos, who are a character within the story too, which is I think one of the best parts of this game. But there's also these fruits that you collect that increases Sonic's defense and power. There's these combos that you can do that get more powerful when you upgrade those. And then if you collect Coco, Coco can increase your ring count, which is important for the boss battles, or increase your speed. And you can buy those from Big too if you have enough stuff after catching fish. So I know that there's a lot there. It's made a lot more simplistic, but this game has problems with how to do certain things. Like parrying in this game, which is a thing you'll have to do come the second boss battle. You just hold the buttons down. They're not really great at explaining that. They're just saying like they say like, well, timing really doesn't matter. Well, okay, but I still feel like I have to time it somewhat. No. You just hold the two bumpers down, and he deflects the objects back. It's like, well, that would have been easier. That would have been better to know before I went into the boss battle. Man, how much do I want to go into this? I just kind of describing even what happens only in the open world in the first section. And I guess spoiler: the boss battles you play as Supersonic, you're invincible. Doesn't mean they're not difficult. Metal music plays, and they're fucking great. I really enjoy this game. I know it sounds like I may have shit on it, but like, it's not perfect. It's the best Sonic game in years. Like, because like we can't really count Sonic Mania because it's not made by Sonic Team. That was made by fans that know the game better than Sonic Team. And I honestly, I'm going to tell you the last good 3D game was Sonic Lost World, and everybody hated that. So
Okay.
I don't know if anybody has any questions that maybe I can answer. Like, I know that was a lot, but this game kind of throws you into it.
It was a lot. But no, I think you answered all the questions I had. I still think, I think I'm going to wait for a sale.
I'm going to tell everybody to wait for a sale.
I mean, it's on sale right now. It's $39, and then on Monday at Walmart it's $29.
That's
wow.
a great price. That's a great price.
Well,
the reason why is I have a feeling there will be updates to this game that help fix a certain... Because there is some stutter now and then. And I don't think it's just because I'm playing on an Xbox One. I think it's just because this game has some weird engine things. Like I said, it changes physics when you go from the open world to cyberspace, and there's really no reason as to why it should do that. Because normally I'm the person that will, because physics, if you fucking look into Sonic stuff, everybody complains about physics. It doesn't feel like the old Sonic games, the physics are different, blah, blah, blah. At least the physics are consistent. The physics aren't consistent enough in this game that I'm really noticing them. So, I'm wondering if that'll be a patch that fixed. Maybe the draw distance will be fixed on the item, like the weird things that Sonic can interact with in the open world. But other than that, it's a really good game. I do want to finish it because I really just don't trust Sonic to not just drop the ball at the end, unfortunately. Even though that's where, honestly, Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 shined. But right at the end, live and learn. Yeah, I want to finish it because I also want to know how good the story is before It's been really well done so far, but I really want to know if the payoff comes through. But like I said, Ian Flynn's been writing the IDW comic now for 3 years, I think. 4 years. So I have faith in him to, follow through. The other big game, I guess, relatively new game, is Somerville. And I know Ken's played it too. It's on Game Pass, right?
It is on Game Pass. It is from half of the Playdead team.
Yeah, one of the founders of Playdead went and started his own company called Jump Ship. Jump Ship. Let me see here. I don't remember. Yeah, the Dino Patti, who was the co-founder of Playdead, and worked on Limbo and Inside as an executive producer, became the founder of Jump Ship.
I mean, let's
co-founder of Jump Ship, I should say. So I'll let you go because I'm curious to know what you're going to say because I'm reviewing it. So
yeah, so this game, I mean, high level, this is one of those games. Like, the art style is very similar to what you've seen if you've played Inside, you've played Limbo.
Yeah.
Same thing, no talking, there's no dialogue. Very environmental storytelling. I don't think it's a spoiler because it's in the trailer, right? Like, it's around an alien invasion, I think.
So,
like,
I have a feeling, and I'm not. It's weird that they chose purple to be the alien color.
Yeah, like as soon as I saw
that's
their
what Color
ships,
Out of Space chose.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're these big. I'm gonna just say it. They look like big monoliths that come down from the sky.
Yep.
And they shoot smaller monoliths into the ground to destroy things. Like, it seems like they're just here to eradicate people.
Except the beginning of the game, one of them gives you powers. Like, that's how the game...
Well, so did you... Okay, so the monoliths come down, and shit starts happening. Like, one of them crashes down into the ground, I believe, early on. That's when you see all the monoliths come down. And then all of a sudden, the sky lights up, and there's clearly a battle going on.
Yes.
And smaller ships are flying around, shooting at the monoliths. One of those small ships crashes into your house.
Which is weird.
That's what happens.
Yeah, the whole thing is weird because you get that power, and I don't want to go too much into it because it's all spoiler about, because the game's only like 4, maybe 5 hours long. But, god damn, it's not done.
Yeah, So here's
not done. What you mean? It's not done well? It's not.
Technically, it's a mess. If you've played Inside or Limbo, it's always very obvious where you're supposed to go.
So I can.
Yeah.
So I knew this was what your complaint was going to be, and this is my complaint too. What is the difference between this game and Limbo, Ken?
It's there's no direction. It's not linear.
So
it's
not linear. So let's go back to the beginning of video games. Platformer specifically. Yeah, platformer specifically. Not Pong. Let's look at I don't know, Donkey Kong. Mario, Jumpman, whatever, starts at the left side of the screen. It is clear you have to go up without any explanation. Mario has to run right first, though. There's a ladder. It's all clearly visible to the player. Go into Super Mario Brothers. Mario starts on the left side of the screen with more real estate on the right. It's clear that Mario has to move right. There's a language to video games that is clear when it comes to this type of stuff. And that's how Limbo and Inside work. Inside literally drops you through a hole you cannot return at the left side of the screen. So you know the constant motion is to move right. What this game does is give you a 3D space. It is not a linear game in the sense that you're moving left to right. You literally start off in the center of the screen, and there's 2 rooms on either... Well, there's a room in the back that you can see. There's a room to the left you can see. And there's a big TV. Now, I've read enough about game design. Here's a thing that game designers do without really describing it to you, and I think film uses this as the same sort of method, but it's obviously not interactive. The player's eye is going to go towards light. So they'll light up certain areas they want you to go. This game doesn't do that very well.
No.
This game doesn't give you the direction very well. So where Ken is right now is underground. I'm not going to tell you how you get there. It's unimportant, really. But also slows down the fucking game. Just gonna say that right now. There's a moment where you have to go left. Okay, it's pretty clear you have to go left, and you walk in, and clearly there's something in the foreground that is blocking part of your view, and the character has to go back into the screen. So like go upwards, I guess. If you're going to give him a cardinal direction, I guess he has to move north into the background, and there's a small little arrow written on the wall that tells you to move left. It is barely visible. I had to get up towards the screen. I'm playing pretty close. I have a 55-inch television. I'm pretty close to that screen. I can't fucking see it. And this is an issue with this game all the fucking time. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's from the very beginning. Like, I don't know, objects in the background that you're supposed to interact with, developers have a way of pointing them out. That opening sequence where you're walking around as the baby, I could not find the thing you had to pull. Eventually it had to tell me.
I didn't get to the point where it had to tell me, but like, there's a failure in the first sequence. What's lit up in that first sequence, Ken?
Sorry,
the table by the television. The television is
yeah.
the brightest point in that fucking room. So I'm like, I have to go over to the television and recreate, a great scene from Poltergeist. That's what I figured was happening.
Nope. You gotta walk over to a box.
You gotta walk over to a box on the left side of the screen inside a door to grab a flashlight to move over so I can see. Yeah, it's
bad. It's bad design.
It's bad design, and that happens so much in this game. Here's the problem, too. There are really great moments in this game. There's a moment where you have to use a bucket in water and reel the bucket back fast enough to lure something else. Water physics puzzles suck. I'm just saying it now. Like, if your game has a physics puzzle and that physics puzzle involves water, go fuck yourself. It's not a bad game. It's not. I haven't gotten so stuck that I need to find someone that's managed to brute force their way through this game as well. But I'm not. This is from a person that has pedigree. This is a person that's seen how the other games work. I am not feeling like I am playing a game. And it's funny because Drew and I talked about it on Phoenix now. Not that you can listen to it because we're all talking over each other because the sync isn't working. But I talked about developers designing puzzles in a way that makes you go, aha, it makes you feel smart.
I never felt smart in this game. This
game just makes me feel like I could have gone through that a lot easier. Like, but I don't even say I feel stupid either. I don't feel like, how was I supposed to know that? I go like, I literally can't see that. I literally can't see it because you've taken a 3D object and you've scaled it down and he's so far in the scene and there's all this nonsense closer up. Just zoom in the camera in. There's so much of this screen real estate that's not being used right now for anything of value. And it doesn't get used for anything of value. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, the idea of an alien invasion being the background for it is really neat. Not to say that there wasn't, like, weird science aspects to both Limbo and Inside, but, like, the villains in those games, the monsters in those games, were never alien. Like, you were up against, like, this all-seeing eye, almost, that literally wipes out organic. There's some really great sequences where you can see that a person is running away from you, like a human is running away from you, and they get into a car and drive off, and as soon as they make noise, this big monolith monster alien thing immediately detects them making noise because their car is making a lot of noise or whatever, and just obliterates them. You get to see this stuff happen. It's really cool, but, like, man, the amount of times where, like, I'm being held up because I can't literally see it. And I'm like, how, if you're playing on a screen that's smaller, how the fuck do you see this stuff?
Oh, it's
barely
very
visible
telling.
on 55.
Yeah, it's very telling when you first start the game and, like, it goes through the opening credits and the final credit is the director. It's so fucking small. Like, I couldn't read it.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't read his name.
Like,
Is this supposed to be like a mechanic? Like, is this a part of the...
No.
Like,
no.
I don't know. This sounds really bad. Like, y'all are like, well, it's not a bad game, but I'm
It's,
like,
it
I don't
was
even want to play it.
atmospherically and like narrative-wise, it's fantastic.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
no, the narrative I think falters at a point, and you're there. Ken.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Well,
Yeah.
it's so. Does anybody remember Limbo?
Yes. I
Yeah,
like
okay.
Limbo.
Do you remember the parts after you're done with the forest,
yeah.
where there's
the
gravity
mecha-
shifting puzzles and
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a bunch of
Yeah,
mechanic?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
a boring
that's
part
right,
of the
yeah.
game.
Yeah,
The game slows down. Even if the puzzles require more active engagement, the feeling of that game slows down, and you are now just playing a video game. This game has that moment, and it's something that Inside didn't have.
Oh man.
Inside, I think, was perfect. In hindsight, I hated that game when I finished it because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But the more I thought about it, like the more it didn't leave my mind because of how weird it was. I was like, I think I actually really love that game.
I love Inside.
And on
Yeah, I
second
like
inspection, there's a lot to love about that game where they're like foreshadowing things before you even see it, and you're like, God damn. This game, when it chooses to be like more like Inside, it's great. When it chooses to be just more of a puzzle game, it's bad. I want to see the things that I want to be a little bit more in danger of creatures than rocks falling from the sky, you know? And there's
How
some neat
far are you
mechanics.
into it?
I don't know. I don't know how far. I've played for a couple hours, so I don't know how far I
You're
am.
probably halfway through because, like I've heard, it's
Probably.
only 4 to 5 hours.
So
Yeah. Well, no, I was just wondering if, like, because you were saying you wanted more dangers if there was something coming up. But no, go ahead. Sorry.
not really, not really so far. I'm out from where Ken is. Like I'm further than Ken, and so there isn't just this big monolith. There are monsters. There are weird monster aliens. They're really neat. I like them. They do the same thing the giant monolith does, and I'm clearly heading to a certain point. They show you a point on a cliffside where there's like a pyramid or something, and I feel like that's where I'm heading. But it's hard to tell because I'm constantly switching direction. I'm moving further into the screen. I'm moving left. I'm moving right. Sometimes I'm moving towards like myself, like towards the screen, away from it, and it's just like there's no constant direction, so it doesn't feel like you're progressing anywhere. And that's okay for a first-person shooter where, or a 3D platformer, where there is some sense of 3D space still, because you can turn the camera around, right? You can view the environment in a certain way. This is all locked camera stuff. And when I'm not moving in a constant direction, I don't know where I'm going. And the story seems a little bit too much in depth to be fully, like, quiet. Like you can make your own conclusions about Limbo and Inside, but even going back to Prince of Persia, which is a bit more maze-like, but that's kind of the first cinematic platformer. You look at Out of This World, or Another World, or whatever you want to call it, and there is some sort of, like, I know where the plot is going, and I know what I'm supposed to do, because, again, there's just this simple language to video games that has been established over time from sort of the beginning. A big empty space, what do? I'm going to walk that direction. Well, when big empty space is the whole map, and it's not really clear where you can and can't go, that becomes a problem. It's not a bad game, but if you're going to ask me where I put it, right now, it's probably a 6.5, just because I'm tired of kind of having to just wander to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. The powers are really neat. There's powers in this game, and the first one you get early on is that when you you need a light source for all these powers to work, but pulling the left trigger while you're holding a light source sort of dissolves these red alien structures and turns them into almost a water. It's like this weird cubic water thing. So there's a lot of playing around with that, and you actually meet these small little aliens that are like balls with like a single eye, like just a light that looks like an eye. And they can do that too. They can dissolve these red structures. I think there's a bigger puzzle with those. I haven't finished the game, and I don't think I have all the powers yet, but they flash colors not dissimilar to the colors of the powers the character gets. And I only have 2, and I've seen 3 colors that they communicate with. Red, blue, and purple. So I think there's something interesting there, and I want to learn more about them. But for the most part, I'm just kind of getting through the game. Like, I don't know what I'm working towards. And I don't... Like, am I going to be held up at another point doing... Oh, I just thought about it. Okay. Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2, there's the section where you go into the mine, and the game slows to a fucking crawl. Because you're no longer... You've escaped Ravenholm, which is this, like, really good horror segment. And then you go into the mine with all the fucking antlions. And it's just a fucking bore. And this game has the same fucking feeling as that. Like, wow, pace change, environment change, not for the better. And I have a feeling that's going to happen again. Again, not a bad game, but there's a lot of just not knowing what to do, and it's kind of weird when, like, the co-founder of the studio worked on 2 games that knew very much what to do. So, yeah, it's just funny that Ken had the same... I had a feeling Ken was going to have the same complaint of, like, what the fuck do I do? Yeah.
There's a lot of that, and it's early, and it's often.
Yeah. All right, I'm done talking. It's been like 40 minutes of me going.
I was gonna say, this is the Anthony show. What's up?
Listen, I wasn't on last week, otherwise Sonic would have been talked about, and there are 2 games that I think require a bit of discussion to kind of fully understand why one is good, even though it has problems, and one is not so great, even though it has really great moments.
Yeah, it is on Game Pass, so if you're interested, check it out. But yeah,
I wouldn't pay anything for this game.
No,
that's kind of...
Especially
I can't tell you to go and buy it. Like,
yeah.
Also, there's weird glitches in this game. Have you come across any of those?
Oh, absolutely. Like, just weird things. Like it feels unfinished. Yeah.
So I guess spoiler alert. You meet up with somebody that you know early on, and while that sequence happened, the character disappeared.
Well, the AI pathing is terrible too. Like when you have to have people follow you, it breaks.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my god! Yeah. You guys aren't selling me on this game.
Well, I mean, it's Game Pass. So you didn't try it.
If you didn't have, I'm going to say this too. If you didn't have the dog, would you know where to go?
No.
They literally need a character to lead you places.
Yeah.
Oh man, that just sounds so broken. All right,
it is.
God.
All right. Well, we'll move on. Do you have anything else to finish up, or are we ready to move on?
No, I'm shutting the fuck up.
All right. I'll move on to Terrace. What's up?
Well, I mean, I don't really have a bunch of broken stuff. Well, kind of, sort of. But okay, so I played a lot, actually. A Sword and Fairy 7, trying to finish that up so I can get the review written. I know I talked about it before. I really dig that game. It has some technical issues, and I wish the combat was better, but damn, man, when them scenes get to going, like, it is good. Like, I just, the way those Chinese developed games, like the fabrics flow and like everything moves, like with the wind, is just, I don't know, it's pretty to me. I like it.
I love that game until you get back to the village and you're just walking around talking to the old man, and I'm just like, wow, way to slow, because it's right after you fight the big boss with your bird, and then you go back to the town like, all right, you're going to do this for an hour, and it's going to suck.
What fucking game is this?
Sword and Fairy.
Okay. Sword and Fairy together. I think it's Sword and Fairy 7 is the real, but I think it's like Sword and Fairy Together Forever is what the American.
It's a terrible name, but the game is very cool. But it just has these moments where you're like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yep. Yeah, and it drags that. And then the other thing, and like I said, it does have some technical issues. Another thing that's kind of funny, but then kind of frustrating, is the translation on stuff is so messed up.
It's bad. Yeah.
So like when you're trying to like figure out different abilities, like the ability will be like it'll play a video of it, luckily. So you'll see a dude like with a flaming sword charging up and then in slash or whatever. But like the description for the ability where a normal game will be like, press this and you'll do a forward slashing damage fire attack or whatever. This is like harness the power of the earth and fire, slash fire at enemy. And it's like, well, wait, okay, so is it unblockable? Like, can it cut through this defense type? Like, and every ability is described like that. Like, it's just, but it's so cool. Like, you could overlook that. Luckily, like I said, they play a video, so you can like, context clues. You're like, oh, okay, I know what this does. But I'll get a review up for it soon. The other one that I'm reviewing, I played some of is Bravery and Greed, which is a side-scrolling roguelite. I like it. It's a roguelite in the same way as you go through the level and you when you pick up different loot, when you die, you lose all that. You'll keep the gold that you earn, and you can level up your character or the loot and stuff in between runs. But the thing I like is, unlike most of the roguelites where like once you die, like you have to start over like the whole track. This, if you've like finished a level, like you can like you'll start over and that level is like unlocked. Like you still have to play it, but you don't have to go back through the initial one. So like I think I have like 5 different levels unlocked so far. So when I die, I can choose my own path. So, like, I can choose to go to the easiest to the hardest, or start with the hardest and then work my way backwards or whatever, which is kind of nice. It actually has co-op too, but I haven't really been able to play it because it's weird. I don't know. Like, I did a survival match with somebody, but I haven't been able to do like the adventure mode, which is like the normal story level for it. Because it does have different game modes. Like, it has a survival and a death match and a team death match, which is weird. But survival is obviously just the horde mode. You just fight waves of enemies. But there's 4 different types of characters. Amazon, which has a chakra like Xena, which is totally awesome. That she like throws out like hopefully, man, I highly dated myself. Does anybody even know? Y'all know what Xena is, right? Y'all seen Xena
Warrior Princess. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lucia Lawless. Oh.
Okay, yeah, right.
Oh
Lucy
Lord,
Lawless, yeah.
he got a thirst trap over there. What's up?
She's
Right.
still hot. She's still
She
hot.
actually is. She is. And she is a great person too. Like I follow her on Twitter. Like
She
I love
told
Lucy
Kevin
Lawless.
Sorbo to go fuck himself.
Yeah, she's
She
much.
did. I laughed.
She's much better than
Hercules.
Good Hercules.
Hercules.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. Fuck Hercules. Yeah, that guy.
They made a
But-
Xena Warrior Princess game for the N64 and PlayStation.
I remember. I played it on the PlayStation. I liked that game. I loved.
Of course
and it's
you
funny
did.
because that's what I was talking about with this. I liked throwing her chakra because like you could throw it and then like it would change to the camera angle where you could like aim
Like
it
to
and
fill her
bounce it off
chakra.
stuff. I bet you would. Look at
Oh,
this
for
there.
God's
Oh, my
sake.
God.
so much
This
thirst.
guy. This
Listen,
guy.
you can't say I liked filling her chakra without someone making that joke. It doesn't sound right.
He said throwing.
Oh, I thought they were
Throwing.
filling.
We know where your brain's at.
See, I was just about to say, we see where you are, sir.
Oh my god, no, that joke wouldn't have been made. I thought he said filling the chakra. I'm like, that's weird, man.
Yeah, nah, see, look at you. Look at you. Anyways. But yeah, so I'll have a review out for Bravery and Greed soon. Circus Electrique, I started playing. That I know Drew played it now. I think he reviewed it as well.
Yeah,
that,
he did.
Yeah, that game is pretty good. I'm hoping that the circus kind of management stuff gets a little deeper than what it is. Like, but the combat and stuff is pretty dope. I do like the tactical kind of action of it. And then the big one that I'm playing for review, but it's in the way they're doing it. It's Warhammer Darktide for PC, and the way they're doing the release is that it's in, I guess, beta right now, and they're like kind of trickling content in every couple of days. So the initial bit that they gave us is like access to the mission board, because like the way this game works is you get in there and you make a character, and they have four different classes. There's the Psyker, the which uses like AoE abilities. That's actually the class that I made. So it has this ability where it does a brain burst. So it targets somebody and has this build up. Where you have to hold it down and it will like make their head pop, and it's like a totally satisfying sound and explosion of blood.
Is back.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's I love it. And that's it's listed as like the hardest class, which I can see. Like if you don't manage, because as you use that ability, like you can get like three head pops before it overwhelms. Like you have to quell your like psychic power, or else you'll explode and you'll die. So you have to hold a button to like quell it, and you hear like these voices echoing, like saying crazy stuff to you. It's totally cool. But the other class is they have a veteran, which is like a sniper class. A zealot, which is pretty much like the normal, like freaking Soldier 76 kind of do. I mean, you get a gun and a sword. I mean, you go do it. And then Ogren, which is he's a tank, so he's a big like ogre character. I'll play with some of those later down the line. But basically, if you played Vermintide 2, this is very similar. Instead of fighting, giant rats and stuff, this is the 40,000 or 40K universe. So it's chaos. So it's like mutants and monsters and stuff.
We must destroy chaos.
Yeah. Oh,
Chaos.
Paradise.
Who are you playing as in this 40K? Sorry.
Well, you are a prisoner. So you build your own character.
Oh, okay.
When you start off. So, like I said, you pick one of the classes, but like the backstory is like you're a prisoner who basically got broke out, who's under attack, and you impressed the commander, and she's like, "Well, shit, I'm gonna use you," and you're like, "Well, okay," and so now you have to run missions basically for her. So you like work for her. So that's like the backstory. But like I said, it's like, go ahead.
But are you playing as a human? I guess is the question.
Oh, yeah, well, so the different classes, you can't pick your own race, sorry, but the different classes, the only other race is the Ogren, which is like the tank class. Everybody else is a human, yes, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Ogren sounds like
Ogren
sounds like a fucking 80s horror movie. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I mean, yeah, fucking 40K goes sort of full 80s horror movie, really.
See, and that's the one, because I'm newer to it, newish, I should say. But like I want to buy actually one of the 40K sets, one of the miniatures to paint and stuff, just because I want to paint them. But I liked the old Space Marine game and some of the other ones in the 40K universe. That's my draw. But go ahead.
Do you know what a Space Hulk is?
I know of it's. I don't.
A Space Hulk is a ship. Well, it's parts of a ship.
It's like a derelict craft.
Yeah,
floating
because
around.
The way that humans travel through space, they kind of burrow through hell, and sometimes the ships come out not right.
Yeah,
and
pyramids
so
all over them.
40K gets weird. Like Warhammer's just kind of fantasy stuff. 40K gets really fucking weird. Like, I believe it's 40K that the orc stuff just kind of works because they think it does. Like, if you disassemble orc stuff, it's like rubber bands and shit, and you're like, that shouldn't actually work.
The green skin, yeah, I got you.
Like, it's
like all their stuff looks all patchwork. Like, see, I know like surface level, but damn, I didn't realize the humans burrow through hell.
I think it's cool. Deathwing that the people that Deathwing, which is by the creators of I Divine Cybermancy.
What the
whole
fuck
idea
is this
of that
English?
Yeah, I know. That's where you play as a team that goes in to fucking kill things in the Space Hulk.
Yeah, Space Hulk is another game that does that.
Yeah.
There was a Space Hulk game actually in the early 90s, like 94, 95 on the PC.
Came out in Saturn. That's
it
how
did.
I played
Yep.
it.
Yeah, I played it on my 486.
I
But
wouldn't suggest playing it on a Saturn. 486 sounds like a better time.
Kids don't know what a 486 is, Ryan.
it was a cool game
I was gonna
because
say, I
it
don't
was
think they know what that is.
you controlled multiple characters and you had to kind of move screen to screen and keep an eye. You had it looked like 4 camera views on your screen at the same time, which represented the characters that you were controlling. And you had to be strategic about when you used or when you moved each character because if you made the wrong moves or if you didn't do something that you were supposed to do, you could get the characters would get attacked, or if you weren't paying attention to all of your characters, one of them would end up getting attacked, and you'd have to struggle to fight off the Tyranids.
Do you remember back in those days when they only made one Warhammer game a year
I do, actually, yes.
instead of one a
I do
week?
remember.
Those were
I mean,
the dark
and
times.
It's generally specifically the 40K universe that keeps getting shilled out too. At least we're getting another one of oh god, what's it called? It's not Space Commander.
I mean,
Space
Terrence
Marine.
has another
Space Marine. Thank you.
Warhammer game. Oh, he has 2 right now.
Is
I
it
do.
40K
I have-
though, or is it?
It's 40K,
standard?
It
right?
is.
Blood
It
shooters
is
and
40K.
teeth.
yeah,
The
definitely.
the blood shooters and teeth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
I'm actually
that
I'm
game's
going to
not
write that
great.
review tomorrow.
That game's
It's
bad.
not. No, it is, and I'm going to write that review tomorrow.
Yeah. It's
but
unfortunate because it could have been kind of cool, but it's definitely not.
I feel like
Yeah.
every game that has like you aiming on a line with the right stick is just always bad. I just don't like those games.
Yeah, especially when, you also have to press the right stick. Like, just because you're walking in a direction, obviously, that doesn't mean that's the direction your character is facing. So, it starts to get a little weird when you're trying to aim and move and in a 2D plane. It's just not very good.
Yeah, I didn't like
No,
that game
Probably
at
didn't
all.
need to say much more than it was.
some of them boss fights are just a struggle because of the mechanic, like how you have to move and aim. It's not. Anyways,
Not a good
this
game,
though,
y'all.
no,
Don't buy it.
This though, Dark Tide is pretty good so far. It's only a piece of it that we're playing. So all we have access to right now is 4 missions, which consist of like an assassination mission. There's like 2 raids and a research mission. So the assassination, again, it's very much like Left 4 Dead or Vermintide. You go through a map and fighting waves of enemies that come at you in various points. There's different specials. There's one that will shoot you with a net and leave you on the ground. There is a dog that will pounce on you and leave you pinned. There's a bomber that throws grenades. There's one that will run up to you and kamikaze themselves. Damn, you know what? There's a lot of specials in this game. Jesus, there's a shotgunner. There's a chain gunner. There's a ton of specials that come at you at various times. So just like Left 4 Dead, it does have that kind of director where if your group, because there's 4 players, they does have bots as well. They're still working on if you playing single player. So right now, if you load into a mission by yourself, it will drop in people. Like you won't finish it by yourself. You can't. There's no way to keep people out. But they're working on that. Totally forgot what I was saying.
Cool.
Yeah, the game is good. I'm going to talk about it for a while because it doesn't actually come out until the 30th. But like I said, they're slowly releasing stuff. But so far, so good. I know, Ryan, it was one that you were looking for. And outside of some technical issues with some crashes and stuff, because I am on PC with it right now, which I'm sure they'll hamper down before it release. The gameplay and stuff is pretty solid. So yeah,
It won't be out for
giving it a shot.
Yeah, it won't be out for Xbox probably until next year.
probably.
Yeah.
They said the last thing I read is that they're hoping to announce the console stuff after the PC release, which is November 30th.
Did they? So I was, and I know Ken called me out for the fact that it was announced a long time ago, but I wasn't aware it was going to be on PC Game Pass.
Yeah.
Did they also announce it's going to be on console Game Pass?
Yeah, it's on both.
Yep,
Oh, good.
it's on both. Yep, because it's only on Xbox. It's not been announced for PlayStation
Yeah,
yet,
this
so it's only
was-
on Xbox and PC.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like the first E3 after the Series X was announced, this game was announced as an exclusive, and it was like it'll be out this fall, and then no.
Yep. Because I was hyped then, but yep, and then it got pushed back. So
Yeah.
so hopefully it'd be awesome if they could get it out for console by the end of the year. But yeah, it probably will be next year. But for those that may get it on PC, they are going to do, or they said they do have a plan for cross play. So PC and console players will be able to play together. They're still working on cross progression. So if you're thinking of, oh, well, I'll just play it on PC and just start, going on console, you may not be able to transfer your character and stuff. Which, I mean, that's really a part of the fun of these games, because playing the levels, you get loot and money, which you go back and buy more gear, to then go in and, fuck up some more shit. So, I mean, starting over is not really a bad thing, but yeah, just putting that out there. And I've rambled on long enough. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you done?
I think, well, actually, there was this game I played. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'll move on to the Wombat.
All right. So I won't take that long.
Oh, my God. All the shots.
What?
Nothing. I was
Oh.
asking because you said you won't take that long.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
playing. Go ahead.
So I played Survivor IO just like I always do. They have a new update for that now, which adds some World Cup themed stuff, including an opportunity to basically you can earn these medals or whatever they're called by doing different things, and then you can actually wager using them on who's going to win each of the World Cup matches, and depending on whether you win or not, you get a certain number of reward coins that can be spent on some special rewards. So that's kind of a cool little update. Gives me a reason to actually care about the World Cup. They also raised the level cap, which is good because I was getting close. It's 90 now. It was 85.
Who are you?
Huh?
What level are you?
I'm right on the cusp of 70.
Damn. Okay.
So I played a lot, Terrence.
You
I was
do.
gonna say,
I
this
think
is
I'm
like the new
22.
Overwatch.
Like, man.
Yeah, I played a lot. And then I mostly played God of War. I'm 25 hours or so in at this point. I love the game. I love the story. I love the different sort of twists and turns and the way that it's played out so far. The one thing I will say is that it is hard as shit. At least I think it's hard as shit. And it sometimes when you're fighting some of the bosses, and a lot of these are like optional bosses, it feels like it feels like the balance of their attacks and Kratos' ability to defend himself doesn't line up as well as you would hope it to for as hard as the game is. If it's a relatively easy kind of hack and slash game, you don't have to have as much precision in the blocking and rolling. I feel like the stuns and cooldowns on his blocks and rolls, the windows are a little too long for some of the ways that the bosses attack you. So it does make it feel, I think, a little more difficult than probably it would otherwise. But that's really just the sort of optional boss fights, so it's nothing that's distracting from my enjoyment of the game. But it's definitely doesn't feel as smooth as it could in some of those boss fights.
So, real quick, because I know you finished Elden Ring, right?
I did.
And liked it. So,
Yes.
in comparison to those boss fights, Elden Ring stuff is it fairer? Did it feel like your timing and stuff was better there?
Elden Ring is much more precise
Okay.
And so I can't think of a way to put it other than that the timing on your ability to block, parry, and roll in Elden Ring matches well with the timing on the enemy's attacks. It doesn't ever feel like you're unnecessarily caught in an animation in Elden Ring, whereas I feel like sometimes in God of War it's a lot slower, and so there'll be times, for example, where an enemy will throw an unblockable like smash, which they get like a red ring around them when they throw an unblockable attack, and so those you have to roll or dodge out of the way of. But then sometimes they'll throw that attack, you'll roll or dodge out of the way, and then they immediately follow it up with a standard attack, and the standard attack comes too fast for Kratos to be able to get his shield up.
Okay.
So you dodge out of the way of the stronger attack, and then even if you immediately hit the shield button because you know the follow-up attack's coming, the animation hasn't caught up yet to be able to get you to get the shield up.
And you're still gonna get hit. I got you.
And
okay.
Then, unfortunately, there are also some enemies that so there are some regular enemies, not boss enemies, that have the ability to take away probably 75% of your health bar if you miss blocking the first or dodging the first attack in their combo string. Because there's not enough of a window in between each one of the attacks to get your shield up. So if you get hit by the first one, you're going to get hit by all 6 or 7.
Damn.
And so it doesn't happen like super frequently. It's easy to notice that stuff when you're in the middle of like a really intense, difficult fight. Most of probably 95% of the fights that you have, it plays perfectly. It's just fine. It's just there's like those 5% where it's like a really hard boss, or this game also does the Halo thing where it likes to throw a mix of different types of enemies at you at once. And sometimes in those scenarios, it doesn't quite control the way I would want it to control. And I refused to drop the difficulty down at this point. So,
You just cry.
I get like that too. I do the same thing. And the game will ask you.
I'm on it right now.
I got you.
But other than that, it's an excellent game. And the story is tremendous. The characters are tremendous. The voice acting is great. It's exactly what I hoped for out of a sequel to the first game. And if you remember, the first game was hard as balls too. Especially like the Valkyrie fights and stuff like that.
I never did finish all of them.
Yeah, there's some optional bosses in this that are tough like that. So, but yeah, no, you can't press X to call boy. Anthony. And it's the I've been playing for 25 hours, and he has only called him boy once.
Yeah, there's a lot less boy in this one.
Well, and it's on purpose, right?
Yeah,
because
I mean, it shouldn't, because that's the end of the first game.
Yeah, and it's like the growth of his character, right, is not just the growth of Atreus' character, but the growth of Kratos' character is evident. And it is pretty cool to see how much different the interaction between the two of them is, not just over the course of the first game, but through this game as well. So, yeah, it's really, really great. And I'm looking forward to getting through the back half of it.
And this is I don't think it's a spoiler. I need to know, do the dwarves return?
It's not a spoiler. Yes, they do.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, they're in a couple of.
They've been in the trailer.
Oh, I didn't watch the trailers.
Yeah, I know I've seen them.
I just
Brock and Sindri have I'd say probably even a bigger role in this one than the first one.
I loved them in the first game.
Yeah, their characters are
Brilliant
really
characters.
good. Yep.
I want to talk.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the characters you're interested in return. I mean, that's shouldn't be much of a shock. So
And one more question that I guess is more of a spoiler, not really, for the first game. In the first game, it left off that you had visited, what, 4 of the however many realms?
9.
Is there realm jumping in this?
yeah, no, you get to all of them except Asgard and
Yeah.
Vanaheim in the first game. No, I'm
Right.
sorry, you're right. I think it's 6. You get to 6 of the 9 in the first
Okay.
game, but a couple of them don't really have anything to do. Yes, there is realm travel.
And one of them is a roguelike.
Well, isn't that the Dark Souls? There's the boss battle one. There's the arena where you just keep fighting characters in the volcano world in the first game. And then there's the one that everything is covered in black, and it's a roguelike Souls-like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, you do go to realms in this one again. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
you do.
Also, weird thing that I just have to say, I still love how they did elves in the first game. Like, both unique designs.
Yeah, and the art design is amazing. And I know Ken has mentioned before that the visuals aren't that much better than the first game. You can tell it's running on the same engine, but man, the first game looked really good for a PS4 game.
Absolutely.
And this one looks really good too, especially the environments. Some of the environments, I won't spoil which ones they are, but some of them are flat out gorgeous. I was talking about scaling earlier.
A good example of like scaling 3D objects is the first game, because the Ryan, I forget the name of the big serpent.
Oh,
the world serpent.
Yeah.
He's gigantic.
Yeah.
And he feels big. And it's just like, that's how you do scaling on 3D objects.
I mean, God of War really was one of the pioneers of 3D games, presenting you with things that seemed impossibly big.
I
don't know if you remember. I was just going to say that the Titans in 3.
Climbing on Kronos.
when you're climbing on or when you're fighting on Gaia's back, and
it's Gaia. Sorry,
Gaia is one of the Titans. She's the one that kind of looks like she's got like a bunch of greenery and stuff on her.
I thought that was Kronos for some reason, but
Kronos is in it. But you climb
That's later. Yeah,
you're on Gaia's back when you climb Mount Olympus.
There's one where you're on the world turtle. Is that 3? Or is that...
That's the second one, I thought.
Is that the second one?
I don't
Okay,
remember which one that is.
that whole level is awesome because you go inside the world turtle and like you're doing all these puzzles inside like this massive creature.
Yeah.
Yeah. The scaling on those games are crazy.
Yep. So yeah, it's the design is tremendous, and I have a feeling I know where some of the stuff that Ken and I differ on in this game that we'll have to wait and talk about once we have a spoiler podcast around this game.
Oh, there's absolutely things I want to know once you finish it.
I can't wait. All right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, so far, I'm really digging the story, but I'm super into mythology in general, and so I know a lot about Norse mythology, and I like this game has a different take on some of the same, because Norse mythology really is like 15 core stories out of like 2 or 3 different pieces of literature. Like it's not like Greek mythology or even probably Egyptian mythology, where you have all these like variety of sources that were what do you call it? That were created at the time when people believed it. Most of Norse mythology is, that we know about it at least, comes out of a couple books that were written probably 100 or 200 years after most of the people that believed this kind of stuff were already gone. Or at least had been reabsorbed into Christianity. Which is why you get some Norse myths that start to sound a little bit like Christian myth, and it's mostly because the people who were cataloging it had converted, and so they sort of sneak some Christian myth into some of the Norse mythology. But yeah, so anyway, I enjoy the fact that both this game and Assassin's Creed Valhalla have some unique twists on the same sort of 15 Norse mythology stories that most people tell. So yeah, I'm really, really digging it.
It's crazy to me that I played through that entire game and didn't realize that Thor was being played by Opie.
I don't think I knew that either.
He's from
Ron Howard?
No, not Ron Howard. Opie from Sons of Anarchy.
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, I was like, damn, Ron Howard is
fucking
playing?
Ron Howard.
That's
Ron
what
Howard
you were
is
talking
fucking
about too.
Oh well, to be fair, it wouldn't be out of place considering who plays Odin.
Yeah, who is Odin?
It's Richard
I
Schiff.
recognize his voice. Huh?
Richard Schiff. He's from The West Wing. He was also Eddie in
Yeah.
The Lost World.
Yeah.
His performance is weird to me. I can't help it.
I like the sort of different characterization.
He just feels different than every other character in that game, and it just bothers me for some reason.
I think all of the Aesir feel kind of different than I don't know. I think I don't know that I agree that he feels different than like Kratos and Freya. But he kind of should, because the Aesir are a separate set of gods from the Vanir, who are a separate set of gods from Kratos. So, I think that is one of the areas you and I disagree.
I don't know. I feel like every other character in that game fits into the world except for him. He feels like he's doing his character from The West Wing, and I don't know. It doesn't set right with me. They do feel like a crime family, though.
Yeah. Which
most
isn't out of characterization.
No, that part works.
Most god myth figures have some sort of crime family feeling.
Yeah, they definitely capture that, but I don't know. He just feels weird to me. But anyway. So yeah, that's really all I played. I'm looking forward, as I said, to finishing that up. And like I said, I'm 25 hours in, so I've probably got another 25 hours or so. At least if you're doing all the side stuff, you have at least another 25.
Yeah, and I'd say I'm doing most of doing most of the side missions. Not all of them. I'm not much on the collectathon stuff. But I am doing, I'd say, most of the side missions.
Yep. And there's some you can't do until you finish. So.
Yep, I figured that was going to be the case.
Yep.
I will say, if anybody is interested in Norse mythology and sort of not just the stories, but sort of the background around some of the stuff I was talking about the influence of Christian myth and what stories did people really believe and what stories didn't people really believe. There's a really good book called The Viking Spirit by Daniel McCoy. That's an excellent read on all of that kind of stuff. So you didn't know this was a book podcast, but there you go.
Fancy. All right.
I get all my book recommendations from Ryan, so that one is now on the list.
Cool. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, you're in luck because the two big games I've been playing I can't even talk about. They're out this week, though. Gungrave Gore and Evil West. I'm playing both of those. And I can't tell you about either one. So I'll just run through the indie games. I'm not going to dig deep into these. I'll just give you some highlights of any that stand out. The Bounty Huntress, I would like to tell you what kind of game that is, but I can't because it starts with a conversation where you're pressing X to move forward, and when I got to the last line of dialogue, the X button did nothing, so I could never play the game. That was fun. Gabriel's Worlds: The Adventure. That is you could tell right off the gate that is a passion project by somebody. It's dedicated to their son. It's just a side-scrolling platformer, kind of in the same vein as like a Meat Boy. It's fine. It's actually kind of fun. Jumping's a little floaty, but other than that, it's a pretty fun little game. Ultimate Atom, ADOM, Caverns of Chaos. I booted it up and it showed me like 6,000 menus of like strategery and stuff. I was like, nope, I'm out. I noped out of that one real quick. Slime's Journey, again, another Meat Boy style platformer. It's fine. Super Chicken Jumper is a runner, and it's got some wacky shit where you're just this little chicken that like the president hires to go save some people. Did you jump over some logs? It's just weird. Babel the Walking Box is a 3D platformer. It's fine. In Extremis DX is a horizontal shooter. That one's actually pretty cool. I enjoyed that one. Very minimalistic style. Star Sand is, I'll give it one thing, it's unique. Apparently it's a survival game where you were like jogging through the desert and then you passed out and now you have to survive. So it's all first person. It's an interesting game. Figment Journey into the Mind is a like isometric 3D action game.
And a sequel.
Think of it like Bastion, where like that kind of style of art. But the reason this game stuck in my brain is like there's this little bird following you around at the beginning, and he calls her, what's he call her? He calls her like a tit flyer or something, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? But it's an interesting game. And the game that impressed me the most this week was a game called Grapple Dog. And everything you need to know about the game is right in the title. You play a little dog who gets a grappling hook.
You can pet him. You can pet him when you're done a level. I've played it.
I like that game. That
It's
game is good.
Pixel art's kind of like a Game Boy Advance look.
Yeah.
Which is nice to see.
And I love how everything is just like big and bright and colorful, and like the spots you can grapple to are very pointed out, and it is very much
very pointed out. Do you hear us, Somerville?
Exactly. Like everything, you know exactly what everything in this game does. It feels good. Like when you're grappling, like the grapple mechanic feels really good. But yeah,
Feels good.
That's right. And then I went back and played some older stuff. I'm working my way through Gotham Knights. I just did the mission where you meet the Court of Owls for the first time. And escaping that trap sequence is one of the worst things I've played in that game so far. Holy shit, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Ugh. Like, I died more in that trap sequence than I have in that entire game up to this point. I think I'm almost 10 hours into that game. Like,
Jesus. Yeah. Well, the nice thing is that's like the only. Well, there's something else, but it's not that. It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah.
I was just shocked at how bad that was, but I did love the sequence where you're introduced to the Court of Owls. Like, that
was super cool.
This game it may beat out Arkham Origins as like the best story. Like, it's so good.
So to me, because you haven't finished it yet, I have. It is the best story. Arkham Origins is now number 2 because it's so good. It's a shame it's gotten so mired in the whole. It ain't 60 frames a second because I hope people don't hold that against it because man. But go ahead, sorry man.
No, you're good. I did finish the Harley Quinn side mission, which ended very well. I like that. I need to go do the Freeze one, and I need to go talk to the Penguin. But yeah, I did the main. Like, as much as I've been playing this game, that's only the second main story mission, and I just now finished it like 10 hours in. So, I like this game. It's good. And then because I do it every so often, I started playing another playthrough of Link to the Past, because why the fuck not? And I finished the second pendant dungeon last night. which, God, my brain is just, like, I knew exactly what to do. Like, I got there and I was like, oh yeah, I need the book. Let me go back to Kakariko and knock the book off the shelf, and then I'm going to go read the thing, and I'm going to get my glove, and God, I love that game. Still a perfect video game. And I did boot up Pokemon. It's sad because Drew, is not going to be here, and he played The Devil in Me, which is the new Dark Pictures game, and he's played Pokemon. And he could have talked about both of those games, but,
I have not played Pokemon, but I have seen plenty of Pokemon.
Dude, I played the intro. I played up to the point where you battle the first character, and holy shit, that game runs like trash. God.
I've seen plenty of Pokemon too on Twitter.
Oh my God.
Like, oh man.
Like Pokemon, it should be called Pokemon Struggle Bus. Like, that thing cannot run. Like, I'm in my house in the beginning, and it's just dropping frames constantly.
Yeah, I think
Were you
a
docked?
round of
Were you docked or
Yes,
on
I'm
undocked?
docked. I don't
'Cause
play
know-
handheld. My Switch never comes out of the dock.
Wow, and it's
Let me just give you a round of applause. What's the sound of one hand and an elbow clapping?
I can't get over how bad it runs. It just, I don't expect Pokemon on a Switch to run, an open world Pokemon on a Switch to run at 60 frames per second, but this game is just, oof. Like, everything slows down in this game. I cannot believe it.
And
And I hear all these horror stories about, like, the glitches and falling through the world and not being able to progress and all this stuff. I was like, man.
well, Ryan, since you have someone in their house that has played it, has he had issues? Like, has he had any of those problems?
I have not seen any of those problems, but I don't doubt that they're there. But I also didn't watch the intro. I just watched him sort of going around and battling different stuff. And I didn't see any frame rate issues or any of the stuff that has been so visible on like Twitter and stuff. Doesn't mean it's not there, but
Oh, for sure.
yeah, my son's just really happy with all the new Pokemon. So
Hey, that's all that
Gotcha.
matters. It's one of those games where, like, if you walk out into the open world and you kind of look at the distance and pan the camera, you can make it consistently just drop.
Oh,
frames.
it made it stutter.
Oh, yeah.
Because you go, oh shoot, yeah.
yeah, I believe it because it's got some pretty aggressive pan. Like you can bring the camera out longer than I would have expected.
Yeah,
Or
there's
further,
like,
I'll say, than I would have expected.
yeah, like you can change the distance of the camera from the character, and the further you pull it out, the worse it gets. It's bad. I cannot believe Nintendo let this come out. Like, that's
Well, it's really out of their hands. 'cause
yeah, but they
technically-
publish it. Like,
I
they could
know,
have said
but
no.
it's still, it's gonna make money. Why would you say no?
Mm. I mean, that's fair.
I was gonna ask how much worse is this game in comparison to Arceus?
I thought it ran a lot better or a lot worse than Arceus. Like, Arceus didn't
Wow.
bother me. Like, I know it's
Yeah,
not
I loved
60
Arceus.
frames, but it was fine. Like, when this game
Yeah.
kicks off with you in the house and I can notice the frame drops, I'm just like, holy shit. I don't know,
Yeah, that's
man.
bad. It's time for another Nintendo system. Like it's
Yeah, for sure.
I think they've reached their limit.
Some of it is probably that, but some of it is probably not. I mean, this game
Yeah,
feels
I mean-
lazy. It does.
There are plenty of games that look better on the system and run better. So yeah, I agree with you. It's probably a little bit of both, but it's definitely not exclusively the fact that it's the Switch is old.
Yeah, I think it definitely plays a factor, but there's no way that it could. Like, I feel like if Nintendo had built this, it'd have been fine. Like, that's just how I feel. I don't know. Anyway, it is the holiday week, so as far as new releases, it's a little light, but there are a few games coming out. Series X, PlayStation 5, we've got Bus Simulator 21, we've got Evil West, we've got Gungrave Gore, Just Dance 2023 edition Code in a Box, Saint Kotar, Ship of Fools, and Medieval Dynasty. And PlayStation 5 is pretty much the same. There's also Finding the Soul Orb. And then we'll kick over to PS4 and Xbox One. Again, a lot of the same stuff. We're also getting Cleopatra Fortune as Tribute, Horse Club Adventures 2, The Hazelwood Stories, and Winter Games 2023. Xbox One, again, mostly the same stuff. We're also getting Dead Station, Jelly Brawl, Super Rebellion, and Run Sausage Run. I think was out on the Switch last week. And of course, Nintendo Switch, there's plenty of games coming out this week, because why not?
I will say Medieval Dynasty is decent. It's an interesting game, at least.
Nintendo Switch, we've got some of the same games. Then we've got Willie Morgan and the Curse of Bone Town. It's the second game this week that sounds like a porn. A Building Full of Cats. Alicia, The Oblivion of Twin Goddesses. Arctictopia. Blade of Darkness. Floating Cloud God Anniversary Edition. Freud's Bones, the game.
Interesting.
Okay. Whoever made this next game, I get what you're doing here. It's called Half Dead 3. Yeah. Legendary Heroes, Monmusa Gladiator, My Downtown, Primal Light, Retro Goal, Scar of the Doll, a psycho horror story about the mystery of an older sister. That's the full title.
Okay.
Swoon, Earth Escape, Watch Over Christmas, Origami 2, making its way to Switch, How to Fool a Liar King Remastered, Knife Boy Rebooted, Parents vs. Kids, Tetris Effect Connected, and finally, Pocket Pool. Come
Jesus
on.
Christ. Sorry. Okay. Tetris Effect Connected must be a physical release.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. Yeah.
Because I'm like, wait a minute. I have that. That doesn't make any sense.
Pocket Pool, though.
Yeah, I'm not looking it up.
That's a game.
I saw a thing on.
Go ahead.
I saw a thing on Twitter yesterday, since you mentioned Half Dead 3, that Half-Life 2 is now as old as the original Zelda was when Half-Life 2 came out.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
I can't.
Man.
I can't anymore. Ugh. I was gonna say Pocket
Still have
Pool
never
is the
played
game.
Half-Life 2,
Is the
but
game that
Pocket
Anthony
Pool.
plays when he watches Xena.
Hey-oo.
Go fuck yourself.
And no, that's what he just said you're doing.
I was just about to say.
Walked into that door. I
You sure
fucking
did. Oh, you sure did.
Oh, all right, let's do some news, because the news has been fun this week. So, Embracer had a I think it's earnings call this week. They've entered into 6-year deals with partners for new games. I'm assuming that's going to be things like Lord of the Rings, licensee stuff. They're licensing it out. Also in this call, it was mentioned that Volition, after the unbridled success of Saints Row, has been folded into Gearbox. So there is that.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that they're doing a big what's the word I'm looking for?
Chicken
Patch?
sandwich.
Postmortem?
Patch. No,
Oh.
patch for Saints Row.
Yeah, it came out this week, and this was announced
is it?
like right after it happened.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, there was a patch? Oh, what did it fix? Is
like,
it...
there's like 200 bug
is it
fixes
good?
in that patch.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right. Well, I'll have to reinstall. Okay.
Yeah.
Combat improvements, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that patch. I booted it up, but I didn't play much of it, so I can't speak to the patch. But yeah, it's out.
Gotcha.
Also
Okay.
in this was Gearbox acquired the Risk of Rain IP, so now they own that.
But not the company.
No,
which
they
is
just sold the rights to the name. Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
And
I
then-
mean, I hate to say it, like, I'm disappointed. I'm sure that team will make Not Risk of Rain 3, which is, under a different name. It's kind of Borderlands-esque, so it's like, I guess that company, I guess Gearbox as a developer, has done stuff like Risk of Rain, but still.
The weirdest thing that came out of this that I saw nobody mention, I had to dig, I found it in a tweet. Dead Island 2 was delayed to April.
Dead Island 2 doesn't exist.
Tweet.
Yeah, it's just weird that
there
there weren't jokes about it because it's been not real.
You know what? That's so funny that you even put that like that, because I started to make a joke about it, but I was like, man, fuck it, this game is vaporware at this point. Like, ain't nobody, because it came out of nowhere that there was, it actually was going to come out now, and now they're like, oh, we need some more time. It's like, well, y'all shouldn't even said nothing. At this point, don't say nothing until it's coming out next week.
At this point, yeah, because now it's been delayed to the end of April. So
yeah, Jesus.
The big news for Wombat this week, though, Risen is getting a remaster coming to consoles in 2023.
There you go.
Yeah, some Eurojank.
Some Eurojank. Yep.
Anthony, I don't know. I read this headline and I put a question mark and another question mark and exclamation. Nier is coming to Rainbow Six? Because, yeah.
I mean, it's not the first time Square Enix has some weird crossover with Ubisoft. Being both people that have NFTs in their history or present. I don't know. It's not even what gets me.
Like what?
It's a costume, right?
I think it's a costume, but if you look at it, it looks It looks like somebody took, the most American-looking 3D model of a man and just put him in anime clothes.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So bad. And it's not even
Cash grab.
I think that could work. That could work if it was Papa Nier from the original game, but this is from the replicant version 2.7 or other. I don't remember the numbers. It's weird. It's a jarringly weird. What
this
the fuck
sounds like my wife plays Dead by Daylight, and they did a crossover with Attack on Titan, I think. And there's and the stuff looks weird. Like the Titan is I don't know. It's just a cash grab. I feel like.
I think I could give it a little bit more slack in Dead by Daylight, where weird other shit is happening with other licenses.
Well,
but
Rainbow Siege that's different.
I mean, I know they've done weird shit before. It's just, this is a very weird pull. I don't get it.
The whole serious, tactical combat, and then fucking Papa Nier or whoever it is walks around the corner. I'm gonna shoot you in the face.
Yeah. They want to be Fortnite, I think, at this point. Because that game has gone on for forever at this point. I feel like
did get rid of all the blood and stuff, so they could be big in China.
Remember?
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to be Fortnite.
Released a side Rainbow Six game that nobody played.
Yeah, Extraction. Extraction. Yeah, I reviewed it, and you know what's funny? I didn't talk about that. I booted that game up this week actually and went in there. Because I was curious, because I was going through my list of stuff, and I was like, damn, I wonder if everybody playing this. If you're curious, no. I did not find nobody when I tried to quick match. So I had to go in by myself. Quickly got killed by enemies, and I was like, well, uninstall. So yeah.
Yeah, that game existed.
It did.
Josh Sawyer says Pentiment doesn't exist without Game Pass. He also says he would return to direct a new Vegas game.
Okay. You know what?
It's
I love
people
New
saying,
Vegas. I thought, don't do Pentiment too, because
that's like saying to me, I would love to be in a Marvel movie. Yeah, just say you like money.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I'd love to come back to New Vegas. I appreciate that as someone that likes New Vegas. However, all I hear is, I like money.
Well, yeah.
Another Wombat news story. Witcher 3 Next Gen has a date. It's December 14th.
Yeah, I'm hyped on that too.
Yeah.
I have
Very
paused my
excited.
playthrough of Stones, Hearts of Stone, to wait for that update. So I'm hyped.
Blizzard has pulled out of China and severed their relationship with NetEase.
Okay, so I have questions about this because I didn't dig deep because I figured you would have it here. So they pulled out of China.
Mm-hmm.
So Warcraft, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, all that stuff is no longer available in China.
That is correct, because it
Currently.
was being published by NetEase, because they have to have a third-party publisher, because they're not
Right.
self-publishing in China, and they just severed the relationship and said, we're not going to have our games in China, which some people thought, well, maybe this is, they're planning Microsoft will be publishing it if they end up buying them, but the president of NetEase was not happy. He made a comment about how he can't play and he's got like 10,000 hours in World of Warcraft or something.
So the assumption that I saw was that they're probably going to announce that they already have a partnership with someone else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Who?
I don't know.
Tencent?
Tencent, I guess, would be the other. I don't know.
I mean, because NetEase was already huge. Like, who would you leave? Like, why would you leave them? Like, who would be bigger over there? Like, okay, that's, man. All right.
We have the NPDs for October. PlayStation 5 was the best-selling console. Xbox was second, and Switch down in third. Is the Switch finally slowing down? Maybe.
And I feel like we're getting close to a saturation point with that system.
Really, like who doesn't have one?
Yeah, right. I mean, there's multiple in my house, and like, it's funny. I was digging through my kid stuff and found one that I didn't even know we had. I was like, what the? They don't even mess with it. So yeah, everybody has a Switch, I think.
Yeah, we have two in our house. Shit.
We do too.
Like there's all kinds of them. Hardware rumor: PlayStation 5 Slim, rumored to be Q3 2023. And then Microsoft making waves saying the Xbox Series S will be $249 this holiday season. It's a good price for a great console.
Yeah. I mean, Sony went up and Microsoft went down. Wow, that's crazy.
Phil Spencer did another interview this week, so there's always news tidbits out of that. The big one that I put on here was the streaming console that they had. That thing was real. But they've put it on hold because Phil Spencer said the price is not where he wanted it. He wanted it somewhere between $99 and $129 with a controller, and the box that they built just could not do that. So that's why we don't have one. And speaking of cloud gaming, Samsung has announced that if you have a 2021 Samsung TV, they're bringing the gaming hub to that, so you'll be able to stream Xbox Cloud Gaming and NVIDIA GeForce and things like that on older Samsung TVs, which, by the way, I tried that for the first time this weekend, and it was relatively smooth. Like, I paired my Bluetooth controller, loaded the app, and played some Mortal Kombat 11, and it was actually really well done. So,
Nice.
yeah, I was shocked because I didn't hardwire my TV because I don't need to, and it still felt pretty good, and it looked pretty good. I wouldn't play that way. That's not my preferred way to play, but I just wanted to see how it would work.
Yeah, I imagine that type of thing would be like super good for like when you're on vacation and you just want to chill in a hotel, and that is an option. You just have to bring a controller, you know what I mean, and you can log into the at the hotel or whatever.
Yep. Or your phone. Just play it on your phone.
Or yeah, you can do it on your phone because Ryan was saying he was playing Chivalry on his phone. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Was.
Crazy where we are in the world now. Legacy of Kain, the survey that Crystal Dynamics sent out, overwhelming response. Like normally those surveys get between 1,000 and 3,000 responses. This one got damn near 100,000 results. People really want a new Legacy of Kain.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
All right, let's do the last story, which, holy shit, what is this world? 2 former Square Enix employees were arrested after insider trading after the release of Dragon Quest, including fucking Yuji Naka.
And I think what's funny about this is Riot said that it was based on the the Dragon Quest tack, like the mobile game, and
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
that game is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
The father
Yeah, I
of
can't. I
Sonic.
don't like that game at all.
the
It's
fa-
still insider trading.
Yeah, but the father of Sonic is in jail.
that's so
Okay,
messed
can we cut
up.
that out? Can we cut that out? I'm so tired of him being the father of Sonic. He didn't draw Sonic, he made the engine, and he
Okay.
didn't design the fucking game.
Okay, I'm
It's
sorry.
just this motherfucker. No, it's just this motherfucker has been coasting on that for years and fucked Sega. He could
Are you
single-handedly
real he
be-
done set up and everything. Oh, shit, hold on.
he could single-handedly be the person that destroyed Sega. He refused to listen to people. Oh, Sega's number one, blah, blah, blah. Well, motherfucker, no, you're falling behind. And I think it was Bernie Stoller who told him to go fuck himself to his face, but they had to use a translator, and the translator turned to him and said, there's no word for this. Like, I know there is. Like, Yuji Naka, he was saying, like, because he had a bunch of, like, Sega employees, and he's like, yeah, people are viewing Sega as, like, their grandpa's system, or something like that. And Yuji Naka refused to accept that, and he's like, you fixed the results, blah, 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 you're lying. Yeah. He's the reason why there wasn't a brand new Sonic game on Sega Saturn. He's the reason why 06 is bad. He's the reason why Sonic and the Secret Rings is bad. And if you look at his track record, you go, maybe he's just been screwed over. But it's like, no, he was notoriously terrible, and the stories started coming out when he started opening his mouth on Twitter more and more.
But he made Balan Wonderworld.
So Balan Wonder Jail. So when that came out and he started accusing Square Enix of shitting on him or whatever, and he blanked out the face of Naoto Oshima, I believe, the guy who created Sonic, the actual creator of Sonic the character. He blacked out his face. Like, he's so fucking full of himself, and he hasn't done anything of
You really
any
feel like
relevance.
you got beef with this nigga. I'm happy he's in jail because you sound like you have beef with him. Go ahead.
I'll tell you why. Because, like, let's go back to the Bayonetta thing. I didn't learn my lesson after fucking defending the father of Sonic for so long. Like, he's a known piece of shit. And I defended the guy thinking, like, you know what, he's been unlucky and he's had to work with smaller publishers, and, smaller publishers just might want to make a dime or whatever. And it's like, no, he's a problem. He's the shitty boss. And,
He's
there
probably
was
fired now, and in jail, so you probably don't have to
Yuji
worry about it no more.
Yuji Naka has taken credit as the father of Sonic for a long time, but what really he did was he made an engine that could go fast.
Hey, you gotta go fast.
But he couldn't make a game, and he couldn't make a character. So,
Why you don't want this man to have nothing? Like, can he just have the engine, Anthony? Can he just have that?
No, because he can, but that's not what he sold himself as. He said he was the creator of Sonic, but he was the programmer. Oshima is the designer of the character. Like, that's who made Sonic. Like, end of story. Like, you can go, I did it. And he shit on the third guy, his name I always fucking forget, and I feel bad. Hirokazu Yasuhara. He goes by another name, I can't remember. Carol Yass is how he's credited as. He's the guy who actually designed the levels of Sonic the Hedgehog. He went on to do Jak and Daxter. He now works at Unity. Like, he's the guy who kind of brought the two pieces of Sonic together to actually make a product that worked, and gets zero credit, to the point where Yuji Naka has tried to discredit his contributions forever. And he doesn't give Naoto Oshima enough credit either, and he fucking drew the character. So yeah, go to fucking jail. Don't insider trade. This wasn't a hard fucking lesson to learn. Don't do that. It's not very hard.
That was a lot. If you want to do a documentary, because I learned some stuff
No,
here that
no,
I didn't
man.
know.
There is a
I'll be your
documentary. Like
camera guy.
I knew he was
there's already
shitty,
one.
but there is a documentary on him that is
Oh,
just.
see, I thought you did all
wow.
this research because I was like, damn, I don't even know these people's name. Like, this dude knows the history, the secretary of the guy. And I'm like, Lord. You a Sonic fan. All right, that's cool.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
unfortunately. And it's like I haven't hated his other stuff, like, but Balan Wonderworld is not is sort of a mess. And I went, I could totally see Square Enix, because Square Enix is shit, is a shitty company, and they have thrown people under the bus before. But no, it's probably not that at all, unfortunately. So I hope you're glad at going to jail over Dragon Quest Tact.
To be fair, he's going to jail over the money that he made off Dragon Quest Tact, but
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like, it's not even like a good Dragon Quest game.
No,
You
it's
don't even
not
get a
at
good
all.
story out of it.
it's not at all.
Is that other one good? That other mobile Dragon Quest game? The Legend of Dai?
Is that in
I-
English?
I'm not huge on either one of them, but again, it's
Oh, okay.
it's
I'm
not.
just
It
curious.
has nothing to do with the fact that they're Dragon Quest. It's like that I can't stand the 18 different currency free to play games.
Gotcha. Yeah. That stuff is a lot.
All right, that's all the news I got. I do have some emails and some tweets. So the first email comes from Jeremy. He says, "Hey guys, I finally finished up with Breath of the." I don't know why I called this the first email. It's the only email. What the fuck? I finally finished
Well,
up
then it is the first and the only.
the first and the last. I finally finished up Breath of the Wild. Decided to jump back into Xenoblade 3. I totally forgot I had that game too. I forgot that game came out this year. Hoping to get one finished up before the end of the year. I'm about 4 hours into that timeline. Might be wishful thinking. I just replaced the fan in my launch switch again. Nice and quiet now. What was y'all's biggest project on one of your gaming devices? As always, thanks for the show.
Oh
This-
man,
I was gonna say this sounds like a Wombat question, truly.
yeah. I mean, I've done a lot of different stuff. I
had
used to
put. Oh,
I
go
used to
ahead.
fix PlayStation 2s. Back when that was a problem, I worked for a friend of mine at a game store and had a whole side room full of busted PS2s that we could either try to fix or take parts from to fix customers when they brought PlayStations in. I've taken apart controllers and fixed controllers, and I took I've taken apart Xbox 360s to try to fix Red Ring of Death, although that was kind of one that's very difficult, if not impossible, to fix without a bunch of spare parts. Super Nintendos, regular Nintendos. Taken a lot of different systems apart over the years.
Terrence, you had something?
I mean, nowhere near as much as man.
Nobody
Lord
has.
Jesus. I used to. I mean, I fixed PS2s for but Ryan apparently did it in a store. Like, I was the neighborhood dude. And dude's like, my PS2 don't work. Oh, I got you, homie. Like, I fixed it. I know one that I did for myself. I had to my PlayStation 4 Pro sounded like a jet. And I was sick of it, and I was like, man, I don't know what's the problem. So I took it apart, and come to find out, the paste that you put between the processor and the
thermal
heatsink, I think
paste.
is what it's called. The thermal paste. Thank you. The
Yep.
thermal paste was gone. It had leaked out all over the thing. I don't know if somebody tried to fix it and must have half-assed it, that's why it was so loud. So I had to I had to clean all that up and reapply it, and then it was, it worked fine after that. But yeah, nowhere near as much as you. The original Xbox, I've taken apart and put in a bigger hard drive. I've modded those. But yeah, pretty much it. Red Ring of Death stuff. But I think everybody tried different stuff to fix that. But
Yeah.
I
could say.
I was gonna let you go.
Okay. I recently changed the hard drives, and I know this sounds it's not that hard, on two different models of PlayStation 3s. The slim model and the original model. And if you want a terabyte, it is not just a simple, I plug in a terabyte drive. They have to be formatted a specific way. And if the format goes wrong, you've now destroyed a hard drive. And then I had to put, because you have to put them on like by transferring from like a USB stick almost to the console, put on a bunch of ISOs onto the old PlayStation. It's a nightmare scenario of days and days and days of work. I think that's probably the yeah. And the laser had to be changed in the original PlayStation 3 model too.
Yeah,
Fun
I've
times.
mostly done, like, I replaced so many lasers in the original PS1 model. Like, I knew the model numbers because there was like 3 different laser models that came in the original PS1. I replaced them.
Do that on the PS1.
Oh my god, my PS1 was broken like every other day. That thing was a piece of shit. But I did that. I did the PS2 modding. I've replaced hard drives and consoles for sure. I've taken systems apart. Like the PS4, when you take it apart, that thing is nasty inside. Like that thing traps
The Pro definitely
dust.
was.
Yeah, that thing traps dust like, oh my god. It's so bad in there. I've done controllers. I fixed like triggers on controllers and analog sticks. And man, that stuff is fun, but it sucks.
When Terrence said that he helped guys in the neighborhood, all I could picture was him getting the PS2, flipping it upside down, and handing it back to the guy. Alright, you're done. Use it like this.
That would be a PlayStation 1 fix.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a PlayStation 1 fix?
that was
I never had one.
PS1.
Yep, that's a PS1 fix.
Flip it upside down. It works like a charm.
Yep, you're alright, man. That's $25.
Ugh. God, I remember having a big-ass fan on the bottom of my PlayStation 1. God.
One of the third-party ones? Or you
Yeah,
just
just
put
like this big-ass gray box on the bottom of my PlayStation.
Yep, my mom bought us one of those. I remember that.
God, those old systems were giant pieces. Like, Sony fucked it up twice in a row. Like, the PS1 and the PS2 were just trash hardware. Oh, my God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
The Slims were awesome, though.
No, the Slim is perfect. Like, that thing works like a charm. Both Slims, the PS2 and the PS1.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, both
Yeah.
the Slims were great.
I unfortunately
the
gave
initial
my
stuff.
PS2 Slim away.
I still have mine. The only thing that sucks about the PS2 Slim is that big-ass power brick. Ugh.
Yep, yeah.
Ugh, I hate that thing.
Yeah.
And the tray can definitely break. It's so flimsy. Oh, man. I don't know. Like, every console seems to have one that's fucked up a lot, except for Nintendo. You fucking dunk Nintendo stuff
Well,
into...
Not true, because the Wii U
the gamepad
had a whole bunch of gamepad issues.
But the hardware itself, the system was fine.
Well, the system's fine, yeah, but it doesn't work if you don't have a gamepad for most of the games.
Well, I stopped using that gamepad. I hate that fucking thing. So,
That was one with the iPad, the screen.
yeah,
I
mean, calling it an iPad is an insult to an iPad. You fucking, like, smash the screen on that thing and it still didn't register. Oh, I hated that thing.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Hated that thing. Anyway, alright. Tweets. Shogun says Gotham Knights is on sale for $41 on the Xbox Store. Well, time to see if I really care about 60 frames a second. He says,
That's a great price, too.
Yeah, he says having to spend money on a game feels pretty odd since I've been playing the majority of Game Pass games this year. Currently playing through Somerville. It's fine. Kind of wish they would give you some. Wish they would give you some directions. Definitely needs a run button.
Wow.
I love that everybody's that's played it's like, yeah, so, like,
yeah.
don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's funny. Huh.
Yeah.
Also, it's, what do you care more about? 30 frames a second? Batman.
Batman is
pretty
good.
much.
Batman is
But Batman is dead.
You know what I mean.
That story is the
That
best.
story
It's
is
the
good.
best Batman story that and at that price, and I feel like it'll probably end up at Game Pass next year, but definitely like that's a good price. Like, and it is a good, very good story.
Well, looks like somebody in our Discord has purchased Elden Ring.
Oh, good.
Yep. All right. Back to the Twitter. Lockerman says, hello, gents. Hope all is well with you and your families. Been away from gaming for a few months with work and life getting in the way, which makes me truly appreciate the time and effort you all put in to get out an episode every week. Truly thankful for your time. Thank you.
It's amazing what happens when you care less about quality.
Getting back into gaming, I was really thrown off when I booted up Immortals Phoenix Rising and just did not get on with it. Given I completed AC Odyssey and its DLCs, I just did not like Phoenix at all. Thought the time had affected my love for gaming, but I found out about Guardians of the Galaxy and Vampire Survivors and back in the saddle. Brilliant games and loving it. Stay safe and healthy, gents. I hope you manage to get some downtime over the festive season. Cheers. Indeed. Unpan says, playing Vampire Survivor on my 65-inch new Samsung television with xCloud. Is this an advertisement? With an xCloud app built, I'm really impressed, which saves me the problem of buying one. Also, the game also has to be in the Game of the Year discussions. Level 70 in the library on a 28-minute run was super fun. Game has depth.
Bound by Flame
I'm
is
stuck
currently
on the dairy
$1.
farm. What?
What?
Bound by Flame is currently $1. Buy it. It's a decent game. There, I said it. I'm looking at the
Oh,
Shit.
yeah, that is a good game. That's Spiders, ain't it?
Spiders. Yeah.
Yeah. Bound by Flame was good.
It's $1
It's
on
$1?
what? On
Xbox.
what? Xbox. It's
Xbox.
$1 on Xbox?
Give me a second. It's
I'll buy that
$2
for
Canadian.
$1.
So I'm assuming it's $1 American.
Well,
It might be a $2. It's still decent, pretty priced. Buy it. It's a good game.
Let's take a look here. Let's search the Microsoft Store.
I can't tell. It comes up Canadian pricing automatically, and usually has a fight.
Yeah, I'll totally buy that because I don't think I actually own that on anything anymore.
Let me pull it up here. Bound by Flame is $1.99.
Oh, so it's the same in Canadian.
I think I own it.
$2.
I think I own it. Let me
It's
double
fine.
check. I have to sign in to see. Cause you got to sign in to see if you got. Oh, it's signing in.
Is Bound by Flame the Souls-like?
No,
Man.
this is like a level-based RPG that's sort of what was the EA game? Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of trying to do a Dragon Age type of thing.
Dude, the dialogue in that game is worth the price of admission.
Interesting. Well,
It
I'll pay
is,
$2
especially
for
for
it.
$2. Yeah, you
It's worth
actually will
$2.
you will like it actually because yeah, it's a Spiders.
I do like
Early.
spiders.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nobody likes spiders.
Well, the game studio.
Imagine.
I know.
Sorry, I saw that. I really fucking screeched that conversation to a halt. I just was surprised to see it for such a low price. Usually it's still like $3 or $4. So, and Canadian pricing usually means, wow, it's even less in America.
You know what? I picked up too the Castlevania anniversary or Castlevania whatever the collection was on sale was like $2 too. It was like $1.99. The one that has like all the old games and then like Dracula Jr. or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's a good collection.
It was cheap on Xbox. Yeah,
Black
it
Friday.
was cheap.
We should note that. It's Black Friday time.
Yeah,
Shit's
Yeah,
gonna be
shit's
cheap.
on
yeah.
sale.
Yeah.
So much shit is on sale. All right. Perfidy says, a bit late with my tweet. Hope I catches you guys in time. I've been playing Pentiment, and I have to say it's a fun and interesting game so far. Have any of you guys played Ghost Song? If not, I highly recommend it if you are a lover of Metroidvania games and also Moon Scars.
I did not like Moon Scars. I only played the demo of Moon Scars and went, I don't like Moon Scars. I totally understand how there's an audience for it. I think it's a really good-looking game, but it's too soulsy for me. I did play Ghost Song a bit on the demo, and I think I have access to it.
It's on Game Pass.
Oh, is it? Okay, I was
Yeah.
gonna say Humble's got it part of, if you're signed up for Humble Monthly or whatever, they basically give you the version on their Humble app or whatever it is. It was good.
It's
a
very
little weird, but
Metroidy.
it's
Like it's very Metro.
very
Like just
Metroidy.
the theme is very Metroidy.
Yeah, I mean, you're on a planet that's alien, and you're going into the depths of it, and I think it's even raining at the beginning.
Yep.
Oh
So,
Lord.
It's
Okay.
very
Yeah,
Metroid.
it's
It's as
but
much
it's
much Metroid as Time Spinner is Symphony of the Night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Where you're like, I'm definitely playing the indie version of this.
Yep.
It's pretty
Yep.
good.
It is
I feel
good.
it.
It is good. He also says,
That's on Game Pass?
yeah, Ghost Song is on Game Pass. You would be remiss to not notice it because there's been so many fucking games added to Game Pass lately. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you have that little spot on the dashboard where it's like recently added. Like Ghost Song is probably way down that list now. So he says, I'd also recommend checking out 20 Minutes Till Dawn. It's similar to Vampire Survivors. It's a mobile game. Never heard anybody mention that one.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever heard it before.
20 Minutes
I'll have
Till
to
Dawn.
look it up.
What was that weird noise that just happened?
Okay, all right. So I'm not crazy. I was like, I don't bring up that noise. They'll be like, "What noise?" And you'll just
No,
get-
I totally heard that noise. I don't know what that noise was.
I didn't hear a noise.
Well,
so
it was.
maybe it's
It
on my
was
end.
from. No, I think it was from my end, and I don't know. It was.
20
I
Minutes
don't
Till
know.
Dawn looks like it has like what was that game, Anthony? The one that looked like an old Mac game? On the
That's
boat.
very vague.
On the boat, there's the mystery game.
Oh shit! Give me a minute.
Obra Dinn, right?
Yeah,
Thank you, yes,
Oberdin.
Return of
Like
the Obra
this
Dinn.
looks like it has kind of the same monochromatic pixel style, except it's got some pink in it.
Yeah, it
Pink in
does
it?
look like.
Isn't she on tour?
I think so. I don't even know who that is.
It does
Hold on,
look
hold on,
like
hold on. You don't know who
Vampire
Pink
Survivor.
is?
I know who she is.
Wait, it says
I've never
it's
heard a
inspired
Pink
by
song.
Vampire Survivor.
Oh, I'm surprised. I'm sure you have, but you're like, this is a pop song.
Oh, this also
yeah, I
has
see what you're
like
saying.
anime ladies in it. Okay.
Yeah, this is that's anime.
Yeah, upgrades.
Yes.
It looks more like a twin stick shooter. It's on PC as well.
No, it's basically Vampire Survivor. It's the same, or Survivor IO. I feel like we're about to get. Yeah, you can use this as a twin stick. That's weird though. Why
Yeah,
would
you're
anyway.
gonna have so many of those kind of games coming over the next 6 months. It's gonna be
Yeah,
bananas.
apparently.
That's going to be the new hotness.
This feels like PUBG all over again, and I just
Yep.
I don't need it. I don't need it. Anyway, that's all the tweets, it's all the emails, it's all the news, it's all the video games. It is Thanksgiving in America. So if you're in America and you celebrate the Thanksgiving, have a happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
I'm going right after this podcast to celebrate my first Thanksgiving of the year.
You can start
Did
early.
one yesterday. Actually,
Christ.
yeah, we had people over yesterday. Well, they came in town, so whatever.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was a good time.
Makes sense. Anodyne was just one off, right, Anthony? It's not a multi.
No, we're having another thing. I honestly skipped that episode. It sounds like it was kind of a nightmare, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't plan well enough. I should have given Drew a walkthrough ahead of time. Yeah, apparently our audio is messed up, so we're going to try something different.
You gotta bring back Craig.
I really don't want to bring back Craig. Craig can fuck himself.
And fuck Craig.
Craig has
Fuck Craig.
has two bots now. He has Craig and Griok. Which is Craig,
Riok.
Craig backwards.
Riok?
Oh, got it.
Oh.
And it's like they're
That's clever
an
as I was
orc?
making it in my head.
he's so
Right, I'm like, what the heck?
It's funny because on the like that second bot exists solely because the first one doesn't have stability.
Well, that's good.
So we're
Yeah.
going to have two unstable bots in trying to figure out who the fuck's recording?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Anodyne is the latest Phoenix
Weird.
Down. There'll be a second episode. I don't know, man. Audio is a pain in the ass, which is why I went back to the tried and true method that we've been using for years. I think I'll probably just stay with it because we tried an experiment for a couple months and it blew up in our face, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you want to follow us on Twitter, if Twitter still exists next week, I don't know. It might. Seems like it probably will. We're at N4G
It
Podcast.
seems like it will, although it keeps like the two-factor authentication with text messages doesn't work anymore.
Cool. That's cool.
And
People are
the
tweeting whole
timelines.
movies.
The timeline does. Yeah. The content moderation team is gone, so people are posting entire
People-
movies.
I love it.
Yeah.
Kinda funny.
Yeah.
The the timeline's doing some weird stuff. I don't know if anybody's but me has seen this, but like sometimes replies will show up above the tweet they're replying to. Some folks that I have blocked, it tells me that every single one of their tweets has been deleted, not that I just can't see it because they've been blocked. It's very weird.
I just love that it's like, if you send me your most important line of code.
Yeah, it was
What
great.
the fuck does that? What are you trying to like? It's just
Well, apparently
We've
they
all
unblocked
worked-
Trump, and he don't even want to come back. So
Trump has already said he didn't want to come back, and I hate to give him credit on something, but he seems to be sticking to it for now.
Yeah, give it a week.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I don't think it's gonna. I think it's
The pull of
stunt.
all the people he's going to be able to talk to is going to be irresistible. I don't care if he owns his own or not. He'll
Yep.
end up just posting the same stuff in both places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm glad I got out of there.
Also, we didn't put this in the news, and I know you're trying to wrap up, and I'm so sorry, but rip the Green and White Ranger, man. Jason David Frank died.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
no
he was
reverence for that at
cool.
all. Like, I didn't never watch Power Rangers. It was past my time.
Well, I mean, even if you
Really?
didn't watch Power Rangers, it still sucks that the dude's dead.
No. I'm not saying
I mean,
it doesn't suck that he's
yeah.
dead. I just didn't know who he was. Like, I saw his name trending last night. I was like, I don't know who that is.
Wait, are you that much older than me? I watched Power Rangers. Like, I knew.
He's not as big of a weeb as you.
I did
Oh,
not watch
that might
Power
be.
Rangers.
Okay.
When I remember seeing the very first commercials for Power Rangers, and I remember thinking, oh, it's like a kung fu show. That seems cool, because I was into like WMAC Masters and all those shows like that. And then I watched the very first episode that they showed, and I was like, man, this shit sucks.
Was it?
I was like, this seems like it's for little kids. So
I mean,
turned
you're
it
not wrong. I own
Yeah.
a lot of Power Rangers stuff, but I mean,
It was-
ask me,
Yeah.
if you ask me what I remember from that show, it wasn't the actors. It was people in costumes fighting each other, then people in bigger robot costumes fighting like
Yeah,
Godzilla.
Yeah,
I was
City.
into Voltron. I was into Ultraman.
Ultraman's a better show.
All that stuff was cool to me, and I was like I said, I was into WMAC Masters and other like fighting and martial arts stuff, and so I thought, oh, that seems like it's going to be pretty cool. And I remember a couple of my friends were also excited about it, and we were like, yeah, we should probably watch that. And then I watched the first episode, and I was like, yeah, man, this seems like it's for babies.
You,
Nice.
you,
And I
Yeah,
was like,
we
real
fell off
time, by
like
the way. So-
after the movie. Nah, like
Oh my
when the
God.
new guard came in and they changed that, like Aisha and all them, and like Tommy was headed out or whatever. We kind of stopped watching after that. But yeah, like I met dude a couple times on a couple conventions. Like he was super cool. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
he kept
That's
coming
sad.
back.
Yeah, like he came back a couple years ago because I don't actively watch it, but I see stuff pop up. The comics, actually, I do read the comics.
The comics are
fantastic.
Very, yeah, the comics are very. Simone
Oh my
DeMeo's
God.
fucking artwork is
Yeah,
some of the best. And he does the artwork for We Only Find Them When They're Dead. He does a lot of stuff with Boom. He's an amazing artist.
yeah. I
but-
starting to increasingly enjoy Boom comics, but yeah, Laura Draken and the stuff that they did because they made the White Ranger an evil character. Like the comics are great, but
if you were an adult, or if you're an adult and watched Power Rangers as a kid, and you're like, man, I'm not going back to the TV show because it's very much still a kids show. Read the comics. The comics.
Yeah, you should read the comics.
Are more
What's
for
it-
adults.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Power Rangers like it was using stock footage from a
Yeah,
Japanese
well,
show,
what it
right?
was is, it was Super Sentai, and Sentai was had been going on for a long time, and at this point, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers took man, I don't remember what season number it is, but it's crazy because they would change costumes every year or two, and so Power Rangers started with the dinosaurs, which wasn't even the first Sentai like season. Eventually they would do like trains and yeah, man. The Sentai series is kind of crazy, and it's a better show too because it doesn't feel as just disjointed. But Saban would do that with a lot of stuff. He did. He tried to do Kamen Rider, failed. Beetleborgs was bad because I think Beetleborgs. No, Beetleborgs was one show. I like the toys. The toys were good, but like Beetleborgs was a bad show too, with weird Jay Leno ghost.
Yes,
and that show is a fever dream. Then there was Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, which is Gridman in Japan, with Matthew Lawrence, and it was like Saved by the Bell, and then it would turn into robots fighting. Again, toys and the robots fighting were the only reason why I watched that show. And then what was the other one? Oh, the other one wasn't, I don't think, Saban, but Saban had like a stranglehold on all this stuff for a while. It was VR Troopers, which was actually two different shows from Japan, like mashed together.
Also a very good theme song.
I was gonna say, it must have been like just trying to do everything.
Well, it was easy.
There's a
easy,
documentary
right?
on
cheap.
Netflix.
Toys That Made Us.
Yeah, the Toys That Made Us. They might have been on the TV show because they have a toys one, a TV show one, and a movie one. And I know Power Rangers is one of them, and they talk about how it came to be.
The toys.
If you're interested at all, it's really good. And actually, it's all the stuff is stuff of our age. It's on toys, okay. So if you have Netflix, like totally, I recommend it. Like because they do like one on like G.I. Joe, and then they do have the movies ones is like Freddy, Halloween.
They do
like
the horror ones, and they also do like the Christmas ones, and then they do like the big movies like Jurassic Park.
Toys That Made Us episode even explains that like the whole sort of genre that led to Power Rangers is like Spider-Man, the Japanese Spider-Man television show, which is weird. Spider-Man. The emissary from hell. Just what you would say. And like it's fascinating. I mean, technically, Ultraman predates everything because Ultra Q was a series, but yeah, the other thing I would say is like Toy Galaxy on YouTube does a bunch of documentaries on a lot of stuff, 80s cartoons, Power Rangers, all the weird Power Ranger ripoffs that were out there. He goes into a lot of history of like bringing stuff over and changing things so you can make more money off of it. I think he did one. He's kind of avoided a lot of the ones from the Toys That Made Us, which is kind of good because there's not a lot of crossover. But he's a great show, and the documentaries I think about 30 minutes at most times. And he puts out one every Friday. And some of them are about toys, and some of them are more about, like, series that got turned into toys. Not to deviate so far from the conversation, but, like, it's weird to lose somebody as part of a cultural thing as big as Power Rangers. But he's unfortunately not the first, so...
Yeah. We're getting to that age where our childhood things are going to be going away.
The first was the Yellow Ranger.
I realized that the other day. I was like, man, I am at that age now. Like, golly.
Yep.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's crazy, and if you compare it like musically, it's weird that like the generation before us, most of them are still alive, and you wonder how they're alive. Yet, like most of the people from our generation are dead.
Yeah, they were also writing songs that they were doing heroin and not cocaine.
Hey, if you're going to tell me that the people from Aerosmith and the Rolling Stones weren't doing drugs...
Oh, no, they were just doing drugs that made them feel good and not feel miserable. There's the difference.
Yeah.
Like I think I know he predates the 80s hair metal thing, but he helped start it. Like Eddie Van Halen's, I think, the sort of biggest name from that sort of era of music to pass away as of late, and it was from cancer of all things.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody, like almost every band that was in like that era for me, like Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. Like, there's somebody dead in all of those bands that I grew up listening to.
Screaming Trees. I think the only person of the grunge, like the only singer of the grunge era, technically, is Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, he's still around.
He's the only one. I mean, because Mark, I can't remember his last name. Lanigan from Screaming Trees died not too long ago either, like within the last year.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, to think about it.
I guess Billy Corgan's still alive, so that's two. He's a little bit later, but still.
Running NWA Pro Wrestling, Billy Corgan is.
That's hilarious.
I knew he had one. I couldn't remember which one he had. A big wrestling fan. You gotta give him credit if you're, you know.
You don't have to give him credit.
No.
Oh, it's bad?
Yeah, he's kind of a piece of shit.
Oh, is he? Okay, then fuck him.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
And he has a whole bunch of pieces of shit on his wrestling show, too.
Oh, okay. All right, well, then fuck him. Fuck him. See?
There you go. So yeah, if you want to follow us on Twitter at N4G Podcast, you want to follow the sites at ZTGD Content, me at ZTGD, Ryan at Wombat RP, and Terrence at Lord Magnus. Anthony once again has already left the Twitters.
I'm not waiting for all the rats to abandon the claiming ship.
If you want to send us an email, it's podcast@ztgd.com. And like Anthony said, check out Phoenix Down Anodyne episode 2.
No. Wait for this week's. I think this will be a more interesting conversation anyways, because, like I said, unfortunately, the last episode sounds like it was inaudible mess, a garbled mess. And that one, I mean, I'm not going to say we said anything that was groundbreaking either, so.
What's after Anodyne? What's the next big game?
I honestly don't know. I'm assuming Like a Dragon, right?
That would finish it.
So I'm going to assume they're doing Yakuza Like a Dragon, unless they're taking a deviation to do something. Because we're past Halloween, which is when they would have probably played a horror game if they were stopping, which would have been a great time for Yakuza Dead Souls.
No, it wouldn't. There's never a good time for Yakuza Dead Souls.
But I honestly don't know, and Drew's not here, so I'm going to say they're playing Like a Dragon.
Drew's never here. We've got to that point. Drew's never here. Oh,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got. Everybody enjoy your turkey and your mashed potatoes, your mac and cheese, all that good Thanksgiving food. Enjoy your football, because football all day. Football all day on Thanksgiving.
Enjoy your wherever it is. I don't know where they'll be showing it, but Mystery Science Theater 3000 always does something for Turkey Day. So.
And then enjoy putting up your Christmas tree on Friday.
Oh my God, my wife is probably gonna be doing that today.
Remember, when you
trying
go
to have
in,
it done for yesterday's thing.
when you go in to get your toaster for $2 on Black Friday, remember that you want to kick the person in the knee, right, with the flat of your foot to break the leg.
Wow,
I've
like
only
you
ever
got
seen-
experience with this.
You do martial arts, they tell you how to do it, and they're like, yeah, don't actually do it to our other people in here, because we don't need broken legs. I've just watched enough videos of people getting trampled. Be safe.
Don't go. How about that?
Yeah, don't go. You know what? Honestly,
Yeah.
you don't need
Do
that
it
toaster.
online.
All you're going to do is change the toaster you have for the $2 toaster that probably will break in a year. So don't do it.
Yeah, I'm staying home. I'm going to sit around the house, watch football, and eat food. That's all I'm going to do.
Yeah, I think we're basically done shopping for my son already, so.
Yep, we're done, so I'm good. I'm good to go.
God, you guys are lucky. Lord,
still gotta pick
I
up.
wish I was done.
I still got to pick up his final gift, but it's already ordered.
Yeah, my last one is digital, so I don't have to worry about that one. I can get that one whenever. So I'm done. All the big stuff is packed away, and as soon as I put up the tree, then I gotta fucking go.
You know what? I guess I am done, because we're just giving the kids money. Because, see, my kids are to that age where nothing is good enough. So I was like, kid, I'm not even, I just give them money now.
I've never just gotten money. Wow.
Bruh, listen,
I'm just done.
I'm not
That's what I
gonna,
just heard.
because when you get, like, I get them a gift, when they were little, when kids were younger, you get a gift and you open it in such excitement and joy, and you're like, oh my God, it's so exciting. And that would lessen and lessen as they got older. Like, my kids are half grown now, right? So, like, I buy them something, they're like, oh, cool, and put it behind them, and they keep walking, and I'm like, what the fuck? What I had to do So no, I just give him money. Buy whatever you want, because I don't even care no more. Get
My
what
son-
you want.
My son originally wanted money because he's saving up for a computer.
Oh, good man.
But then he decided that he's had enough of his Xbox One, and so he wants a Series X.
Oh wow, fancy.
Nice.
So that
Good on him.
yeah. So he's still saving money for a computer, but he's
Are you
going
going
to
to get him one? Are you going to
Yeah.
swoop in and get him one?
yeah.
Aw, are
So
you the man?
we're going to swoop in and get him the Series X. That's what I got to go pick up on next week.
Oh, you found one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Nice.
ordered one from Best Buy. It comes in on the 23rd.
Nice.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
No,
Yeah, he'll be excited.
Yeah, I'm happy that my son still enjoys the seeing the boxes under the tree and getting excited. So I'll take it as long as I can get it.
I always love that. Yeah, I definitely. And as the guy, on the other side of that now, definitely take it as long as you can get it, because I definitely missed it. Like Alexis still does it. Like my baby, she's 11, but like all the other ones is just whatever. Like Alexis is just almost there, and it's I'm like, oh well.
All right. So that's it for this week. Enjoy your holiday. We'll be back next week to talk about more video games. But until then, peace out, bitches.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G podcast. $0.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
GavisCon.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And
I've always lived being angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.